Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Morning, guys.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
How you doing, Jenny?
Great.
Nice blue dress this morning.
Thank you.
It was just another sleepy Sunday here in Los Angeles. Nice day. And how about that Tom Brady? Did you see that?
It'll have the same effect as Cowboys.
I think it worked.
No, it
he
does not.
deserved that.
No, it does
Wow.
not.
He deserved that for only one team, America's team, but I think the Patriots just took over and became America's team.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
you
they
hear
just
that,
stole
Cowboy
it.
fan?
They just stole it yesterday. The America's greatest nightmare is back in the Super Bowl. Can you believe it,
They're
Shay?
back. They're back.
They are back.
You got to
Right
do a little
about
last-second research.
No, I'm
in
good.
trouble. Like that. How are you, Shannon?
I ain't good.
Yeah. Here we go.
Had a response
good.
to
I'm
that
good.
yet?
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, at
we
least
have...
you got on a pretty purple jacket.
I had already picked this out. Was going to celebrate.
Oh.
So
It is kind of celebratory. I like it.
I don't know what I'm celebrating.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know where all your props are today.
I ain't got no props.
You got to do this show sober?
You had to put the props back. You had to put the props away.
I like to bring something harsh to the innocent. Trust me.
Let's see how he does today. We've got two great games to talk about. How about Deion Sanders and Eric Dickerson in studio with us? Help us out today. Let's start with the Patriots. And we're going right to the fourth quarter. The Chiefs started the game down 14-0, but took the lead in the fourth on a Damian Williams TD run. But they left Tom Brady with time, and he hit Rob Gronkowski on a huge third down play. Rex Burkhead scored on the next play to put New England up by 3. But then Patrick Mahomes led a 3-play drive that set up the game-tying field goal. The Patriots won the coin toss in overtime. That was all Brady needed. He led a 13-play drive that was capped by Burkhead's second touchdown. Brady and the Patriots are now headed to their third straight Super Bowl. And Shannon,
Yes.
What on earth happened last night?
Tom Brady. I didn't know goats like cold weather.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going goat. I like that.
You know what, Skip? I fought it as long as I could, but I can't fight it anymore.
Whew, good for you.
Moving forward, from this day on, I will never, ever say again, Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady.
Really? You'll
You're
never,
done.
ever say it
Can't
again?
do it.
Did we get that on tape? That could
you
change.
No, this
Any
is not going to
This is it,
Because
okay.
the thing is, Skip, is that, look, there have been other great quarterbacks. There have been other great quarterbacks to have great moments. But I don't believe there's been a quarterback that can call upon his greatness time after time when they need it the most. And when they needed it the most, when he needs to be absolutely great, he can do it. And now, I don't think we give the players, his supporting cast, enough credit. Because the thing is, if we look at Hogan and we look at Edelman and we say, well, they're not Julio, they're not AB, they're not this guy, they're not that guy. But you tell me in the crunch, they don't make plays like those guys. I'm not so sure in that moment if I want anybody else other than those guys because they've been in that moment so many times before. That third down catch, Hogan makes a one-hand grab. Skip, that was not a great throw, but he made a tremendous catch. And guys are making these catches time after time. Give Kansas City credit. They got him in third down, and I was like, okay, you get him in third down, but they couldn't get him off the field in overtime. I'm surprised, Skip. For me, if you look at these numbers, they outgained the Patriots had 524 total yards. Kansas City had 290. 36 first down for the Patriots, 18 for the Chiefs. 23 minutes extra time of possession. And again, they ran the ball for 176 yards and 4 touchdowns. And they needed the overtime to get this done. So that lets you know just how explosive Kansas City is. But when Tom Brady needs to call upon his greatness, the first half, Skip, he did what he needed to do. He took some little short passes. They were third and short. They ran the ball, wouldn't let Mahomes get the ball, and wouldn't let him get the ball. But in the second half, when the game was going back and forth, they needed Tom Brady to be great. No, they needed him to be more than great. And whatever that is, he was. I've never seen anything like this. If you play the game, you have an understanding, you have a greater appreciation for what Tom Brady's doing. Skip, I was very fortunate. In a 4-year span, 97, 98, missed 99, 2000, I won the Super Bowl. But I had to go to a different team to get that done. For them to be back in this situation again, third year in a row with an opportunity to win their third championship in 4 years, fourth championship in 5 years. Skip, I don't think people realize how difficult that is. I think they think this is normal. It's not normal. You better admire this because you're never going to see it again. You're never, ever in your life. And we were just discussing it last night on the show, Deion and I and LT. I believe this is the greatest dynasty. Because if you look at the 60s Celtics, Skip, there are only 8 teams. To do what they're doing in free agency, to do what they do, and the turnover that you have from year to year on a roster, Coach Belichick, guys leave, it looks like he's going to lose another defensive guy. For them to do this, and I think this won't top the Super Bowls in Tom Brady when he's, okay, Tom, rank you, obviously the Super Bowls. But this might be one of his crowning achievements. He'll lay at night admire this piece that he painted yesterday. Because to go on the road and to beat this high power of an offense is unbelievable. And he needed every ounce of his greatness, and he came through with flying colors. They're going to the Super Bowl for the 9th time in 19 seasons. If somebody would have told me that at the beginning of the year, if someone would have ever told me, you think someone would go to 9 Super Bowls? No.
No.
Not one guy. A team might, but that guy's going to be long gone. They're going to have several turnover.
So if you'd asked me late last night, will your partner Shannon Sharpe give it up to Tom Brady tomorrow on Undisputed? I'd say, no, impossible. He will not.
I had to, Skip.
Took a real man, took a big man. Way to go. I appreciate that because he earned it. And that was a great achievement to earn your respect finally, where you gave up and gave in.
You got to,
and
Skip.
Gave it all up.
I fought it long as I could.
I know, you did. And let me echo what you just said. For some of our younger viewers out there, seriously, from my heart, it's a privilege to get to watch this man operate. That was hard yesterday. What he's done in the past is hard. In the fourth quarter against the Legion of Boom in the Super Bowl, or down 28-3 to Atlanta, throwing for 246 just in the fourth quarter and overtime to bring them all the way back to win in overtime. It's just hard. And he keeps doing it at such high levels. And that was, again, the highest level yesterday. So in the end, for me, again, I'm not a Patriot fan. He just won me over a long time ago. Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Brady. He won me over because he is the Michael Jordan of the National Football League, except he's in a completely misleading package. It's one you have a hard time sort of getting your arms around because I do too sometimes. It's aw shucks, gee whiz after the game. I'm like, after the game, I'm watching him talking, I'm saying, wait, are you the same guy who just did that out there?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, Skip, is that he doesn't have an enormous athletic ability.
He doesn't.
He can't jump like Michael Jordan.
He cannot.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
He's not fast like,
Nope.
like a Usain Bolt. He can swim. But he doesn't throw the farthest. He doesn't throw the hardest.
But he even shows you little to no swagger. He obviously doesn't have the all-time greatest sneaker line. He doesn't have anything really off the field. He's got some Under Armour stuff and this and that, UGG boots, but it's not like that.
No.
He's that guy on the field. He's not that guy off the field. But I did love what I heard from NFL Network yesterday. They reported that Tom Brady walked into his facility sometime last week and announced to no one in particular, I'm the baddest MF on the planet. And he meant it. And what you saw yesterday in the fourth quarter and overtime, that's that guy. That's what he believes in his heart. He just doesn't show it to you after the game, off the field, or even on the sideline. You don't really get it from him. So to me, yesterday was his greatest achievement, capping off a year of his greatest achievement. And don't think he doesn't understand this and get this, because he knows his history, he knows his legacy. He needed a signature road playoff victory.
Yes.
He had not won a playoff game for more than 12 years, dating all the way back to a San Diego game against Phillip Rivers, who he's now 8-0 against. So that kind of disqualifies that one. He did have that flu game where he had a temperature of 103 before the AFC Championship game at Pittsburgh. But somehow he threw for barely 200 yards. It was 41-27. It didn't seem like a signature road win. It seemed like more of a team win, right?
Right.
To me, yesterday was mostly about Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Brady. So does that qualify as a signature road win? I say yes, and he was 3-4 on the road in the postseason. So I'm going to remember that one. And to me, he was, if possible, he was better than ever yesterday. And I know we've gone back and forth, and there have been times this year where you're telling me, look, he's just lost some velocity. He's lost some accuracy. He's flinching a little. He's ducking a little bit in the pocket. And for whatever reason, I saw none of that yesterday.
No.
Did they protect him? Yes, they did.
Yes.
They did a hellacious good job of protecting him against the number one sack team in the league. They were tied with Pittsburgh for the most sacks.
I couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell yesterday. But he gets rid of the ball. It reminded me of the Joey Bosa line previous week at Foxborough against the Chargers, and Joey Bosa told him in the fourth quarter, quit throwing it so fast. Give me a chance, because I'm getting here in 2.5 seconds and the ball's gone in 2 seconds. And after a while, it just wears out the pass rush because you just gut it out. You give every last ounce, and you can't get there. So to me, again, velocity and accuracy, it was right up there. I saw no diminished skills from 10 years ago, 15 years ago. He looked like Tom Brady yesterday. And seriously, I wondered if after the game, is Belichick still quietly seething over the fact that his wrists were slapped and he was forced to trade his man Jimmy Garoppolo at the trade deadline a year ago?
Right.
You think he still thinks that? Seriously.
Probably.
I think he might, but I think the correct choice was made by Robert Kraft to keep Tom Brady. And again, to me, he continues to say, I want to play until I'm 45. Are you going to bet against him? Because I keep telling you, there's one man in sports I just don't bet against, and it's that guy.
If you're going to protect him like he's going to protect him,
Okay,
like he protected yesterday. But I think the thing, Skip, is that we talked about, and I said this, you got to take something away. They ran the ball for 173 yards and 3 touchdowns in October. They ran the ball for 176 yards yesterday and 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
So they didn't stop the run. They didn't stop the pass, because if you look at it, Skip, through I think in the first 3 quarters, Tom Brady only threw 6 balls over 10 yards. Fourth quarter and overtime, it was 17. So what he said is, okay, now all of a sudden you guys want to come up. They ran 94 plays. 94. And really, they were really never behind until late in the fourth quarter. Normally, if you fall behind 21 points, Skip, you get, okay, you're going to run a lot of plays to try to play catch up. But they're in an advantageous. For the better part of, 3.5 quarters, they had the lead. So, and they still got off that many plays. But Skip, look, Kansas City did a lot of things wrong. Because the game really should have been over with. I still don't know what Tom saw when he threw that pick in the red zone, in the end zone, Skip.
He did not see Reggie Ragland. He fooled him. He deked him.
So the game could have been.
And it was a terrible mistake. That's from the half-yard line.
Half-yard line.
And by the way, that was 78 straight trips into the red zone with no interceptions.
Exactly.
So he made a mistake that was extremely uncharacteristic, and I thought it might haunt him the whole game.
You're right.
But what did he do soon after that? He throws a 29-yard touchdown to Philip Dorsett.
Yep.
So it canceled, and they're up 14-0 anyway. So there was no blood on that play.
And the thing is that the Patriots, they force you to play perfect for 48 minutes. If you have any lapse in judgment on either side of the football, they punish you. Now, all of a sudden, I mean, they're late in the ball in overtime, and Will Fuller forgets that he has Julian Edelman. They're playing cover 5, 22 man, and he lets him go right up the field. And at the snap of the ball, say Edelman's open. And what does Tom Brady do? Tom Brady's not missing a gimme like that.
Which one are you talking about? Because he hit him so many big times.
I think the first third down. Okay. And when they get him third down, it's not 3rd and 1 or 2, Skip. It's 3rd and 10. It's 3rd and 9. It's 3rd and 9.
You're talking about the first third down in overtime.
Yeah.
Because he goes 3rd and 10 3 straight times in overtime. That's impossible.
And then what they started to do, they're playing cover 5. 2 deep safety, playing man underneath.
Yep.
They started putting Edelman in motion.
They did.
Because they saw he was getting jumped inside. Now, what Kansas City should have done was switch it. Okay, if he comes in motion and if he gets to this point, you take him, I'm going to jump inside of your guy. They didn't. They got picked, and there it is again. But, Skip, they first force you to play perfect. And if you don't play perfect, but what about that first half shutout that Coach Belichick picked? Who would have thought they would come in the game and play cover 0, nobody in the middle of the field against this team? They say, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to double Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce had his worst game of the season. He had a couple of drops. He had a fumble that got negated.
He did.
He didn't play particularly well yesterday.
Yep.
And now, because you can't run the football, you don't have a whole lot of opportunities. They don't put a whole lot on Pat Mahomes' play, Skip. They don't let him audible at the line of scrimmage. You saw Tom Brady yesterday. If it was a bad play or he thought it was a bad play,
we had several kills.
Yes.
We did.
And then not only was he getting from bad play to good plays, he was getting to good plays to great plays.
He was.
And that's the next step for Pat Mahomes. He missed some throws. He missed Williams' kid. He had him wide open for a touchdown.
Listen,
Skip.
that was the equivalent of the Brady interception because that's a gift touchdown. And nobody's home. He's just there. You could just float it to him. You could throw it underhand to him, and that kid could probably throw it underhand to him.
And what happens, Skip, is that he changes arm angle so much, and he throws off the wrong foot so many times that he threw off the wrong foot, and he threw it harder than he needed.
It was the one conventional throw he needed to make where you just need to make it textbook.
Right.
Just go Tom Brady textbook. Just lay it up for him.
And then he exacerbated the situation by what, Skip? He taking a sack
big
2 plays
sack,
later.
and then they didn't even
get out of field goal range.
No, it was a big turning point. And then Brady came right back with
and got a touchdown.
And so now it could have been 7-7, and now it's 14-0, and so you're back on schedule.
Or at worst case scenario, 7-3.
Okay, where we diverge is the reason I believe this is Brady's greatest achievement is this is the worst supporting cast. This is the worst help he's had in his 19 seasons because the defense to me is below average. And then weapons-wise, even though Belichick did a good job on Tyreek and Kelsey, Brady doesn't have Tyreek or Kelsey or Sammy Watkins, who got off yesterday because he was the one who was drawing the singles.
And then he got hurt.
Well, he did, but he caught 4 for 114. So he was killing him, and Damian Williams was getting free and getting loose for big touchdowns. So the point was that Edelman and Gronk they're not quite what they used to be, but they have such a brotherhood connection with Tom that when push comes to shove, he's going to trust them. And they know he's going to trust them. And it's almost like he wills the ball to those two. Because that was the best I've seen Gronk play in about, 2 months?
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Because Brady kept going back to him and saying, you're my guy. Because he fought for him. He got him his money. He got him, they fought for each other, right?
Didn't get him traded.
He didn't get him traded. So, again, the reason this is such an achievement yesterday was you realize Bill Belichick's defense gave up 24 points in the fourth quarter. Think about that. You gave up 24. And guess how long Patrick Mahomes had the ball in the fourth quarter? 3 minutes. That's like Reggie Miller against the Knicks, right? How do you even do the math on that? But again, one was a longer drive that finished at the start of the fourth quarter. But they still put up 24 points in the fourth quarter. That's impossibly hard to overcome.
Brady gave through that interception. They ran it back to the 21, and then 2 plays later, they're in the end zone.
But that wasn't a gift. That hit Edelman right in the hands.
No, I don't think that was right in the hand.
Well, you got to catch that. Can we see that?
But what happened, Skip, is that he had.
How many times I've seen him catch 100 of those?
Well, he had to miss the linebacker. So Edelman got in behind the linebacker. So Brady threw it a little farther because if he threw it back shoulder him, see.
Wow, boy, that hits him right in the hands to me. I've seen Edelman put that in his back pocket every time.
D Ford flashed him. You see what D Ford does?
I'm not putting that on Brady. I'm still putting that on Edelman. Maybe it's a bad break or bad deflection, but that's just bad luck. I'm not putting that on Tom Brady, but I thought the game was over right there. I thought that was going to be the end of it.
Well, it might have been had he gone down and scored a touchdown because it'll make it 24-14.
So what was the point yesterday? What had to happen? Because, look, here's the point. You pick Kansas City, and the truth is the better team lost that game yesterday. But the visiting team had number 12.
No, I believe the better team won the game.
I don't.
You think Kansas City's defense is better than the Patriots?
The only way, I think it can rush the passer better.
I couldn't tell.
Hey, here's the point. That Tom Brady held the ball. He won the game a keep away, and it was the all-time keep away wipeout game.
It was.
It's 44 minutes to 21 minutes? Are you kidding me? 44 to 21. That's impossible. You have more than doubled in time of possession. So you have kept Patrick Mahomes off the field, and it still went to overtime. That's impossibly great because Tom Brady said, I have to convert on third down.
It wouldn't have been, Skip, without those 2 turnovers. I believe if Tom Brady doesn't turn that ball over twice, if he doesn't throw that interception, Skip, they're going to get a touchdown. So it's going to be 14-0 at that point in time. And for all intents and purposes, the game, I believe, would probably been over.
If the time of possession was equal, 50-50, this would have been a wipeout. Kansas City wins easily. I'm serious. Tom Brady converted 13 of 19 third downs. That's impossible on the road in the cold with a crosswind.
How do you get that many opportunities at third down?
You just don't. They were 1 out of 2 on 4th down. And I'm going to give Josh McDaniels some credit. He had a couple of clever run calls in the first half. But you realize Tom Brady went 9 of 11 on 3rd down for 119 yards. And he converted via pass 9 out of 13. And he converted the last 4 on 3rd down. Because what was... to me, the biggest play of the game was the one to Gronkowski. Remember, he threw it to Gronkowski the first time.
Well, he's holding.
But he went right through, remember, it goes right through Gronk's hands. Again, that wasn't Tom Brady's fault on the first time. And what happened, D Ford had lined up off sides, and Brady knew it because he was just shrugging about the interception off Gronk's hands because Brady saw the flag fly at the snap. So it's almost like it was a free play. But what did he do on 3rd and 5 from the 29? He came right back to Rob Gronkowski on who? On Eric Berry, who has been his nemesis, who has shut out Gronkowski before. Am I right?
Yep.
And he throws it right to him up the side. There was the aborted interception. Look at this. He goes right back to a guy who's a shell of himself, and that's the play of the game to me. If you don't make that one, you're going to lose the game. And so that sets him up with the close, the easy touchdown. So that's the throw of the game. And then to your point, in overtime, he's got 3 straight 3rd and 10s, and he goes to my brother Edelman, to my brother Edelman, to my brother Gronk. It's just connection. It's soulmate stuff. In a vacuum, if you took those 2 guys and put them on another team, would they be stars for another team?
Gronk probably would.
Not now.
No. But here's the thing, though, Skip. Let me ask you this. How many of those top receivers are going to be able to go and get 1 catch in a game or get no catches? Or and the coach says, you know what? I don't think you're healthy, so I'm going to sit you down for a week like they do Gronk. How many of those top receivers are going to be able to handle that? See, everybody can't play in this system because you have to give up your ego in anything that I want to be a Pro Bowl player. I want to be an all-pro player. Well, the most important thing is that you be a team player. That all-pro and that Pro Bowl stuff, that's secondary here. And everybody can't accept that, Skip. Everybody wants their numbers because how else am I going to be who's the best this or who's the best that if I don't get numbers? Edelman doesn't care about that. Gronk doesn't care about that.
Nope. I agree. So, in the end, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. I am the biggest Michael Jordan fan. But to me, Tom Brady is even more clutch than Michael Jordan because he's proven it so many times more than Michael has on a big stage.
Well, it's hard to say, Skip, but see, Michael would take the ball and put it in the basket himself. Brady can't throw the ball to himself, so he's relying on other people.
But I'm talking about close games because remember, Michael never went to a Game 7 in 6 finals. He went 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs, but there was no Game 7. The shot he made, against Utah, stolen the ball from Karl Malone. That's Game 6, right? So the point here is we saw him on the biggest stage to get to the Super Bowl as an underdog, come up nothing but clutch throughout the 4th quarter and overtime. He threw for 180 yards in the 4th quarter and overtime. Well, we just see it again and again because if you screw up one of those throws, if you go cold at any moment in that stretch, we're having a different conversation. So to me, that was all-time clutch. He's now going to his 9th Super Bowl, and he could eclipse my man Charles Haley, who has the 5 rings. He could, obviously this would be a shot at a 6th ring for Tom Brady, and that would stand unopposed, right?
Yeah, it'll never be broken.
I don't think that will be broken.
I like the honesty from you today, Shannon.
Yeah, you got to give it up.
You know?
You got to give it up to the man.
Impressed.
The man was unbelievable.
Oh, 3-0.
But I told you, Skip, how he thinks. Oh, he's so unassuming. He doesn't think that. I was like, okay. I know how Tom. I know. I've been around great athletes. I like to think I was a decent athlete.
Yes, you were.
When you're that level, Skip.
Yep.
You have the utmost confidence in you. And yeah, from time to time, I can show you. That's not the first time that he said that.
Yep.
That might have been the first time that it's been reported he said that.
Baddest.
But yeah, I'm the baddest mofo breathing.
I like it.
That's Tom. Now see, that Tom. Now you winning me to your side.
That is correct, because he thinks that.
Yes.
He believes that with every ounce.
Yes.
41 years old, and I don't think he's stopping anytime soon. But that's just me.
And just the fact that he's 3-0 in playoff overtime games, he gets the ball first, doesn't let the other team touch it. We know the ending.
Do you realize he's done that 3 times?
Three
They've
times.
won 3 coin flips. You always say, you got to call heads. and Slater called heads, right?
Again, yeah.
But it's 50-50. But I'm
Not
with you.
50-50. I don't know. No.
Yeah.
I'm never calling tails. I don't care if it goes 100 tails. On 101, I'm calling heads again.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm calling heads, and 3 times they've called heads, and 3 times Brady has taken the ball and gone and scored with it. Scored a touchdown.
That's the only thing I don't like about the overtime.
I don't either.
That
I
is
wish,
the only
you know what?
thing.
I do wish Patrick Mahomes had a chance to
beast
counter,
is shot.
They might
to
need to
answer.
The only way
Yeah.
to make it fair is
Yeah.
do it like college, Skip. Everybody gets one possession.
That part is hard.
But they won't do it during the regular season because it cuts into prime time
yeah.
too much. You
Yes.
know.
Well, different overtime game that didn't end in the Saints' favor. They are not going to the Super Bowl. Is it all the refs' fault? We'll discuss everything next.
No mercy.
Hey everyone, Jenny Taft here, and thank you for listening to the Undisputed podcast. If you like what you hear, then you should subscribe to the First Things First podcast featuring Chris Carter, Nick Wright, and Jenna Wolfe. The First Things First pod breaks down the biggest stories in the world of sports. So if you like the NFL, NBA, college sports, then you're going to like this podcast, the First Things First podcast. The First Things First podcast drops Monday through Friday with a special weekend edition as well. And be sure to catch the show live on TV before us every weekday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Now, back to our show.
No mercy.
The NFC Championship featured the most controversial play of the day. With under 2 minutes left in the fourth, Drew Brees threw an incompletion, and everyone thought it was pass interference except for the refs. No call was made, and the Saints had to settle for a field goal. On the Rams' next drive, Jared Goff led an 8-play drive to set up the game-tying field goal and send it to overtime. The Saints got the ball first in OT, but Brees was hit and threw an interception. The Rams got it back. Greg Zuerlein kicked a game-winning 57-yard field goal to send the Rams to the Super Bowl. Back to that no call. Let's take a listen to both teams after the game.
It's frustrating, just getting off the phone with the league office. They blew the call, and man, there were a lot of opportunities though, but that call puts it 1st and 10. We're on an E3 plays, and it's a game-changing call. It should never have not been a call. They said not only was it interference, it was helmet to helmet. There were 2 calls. They couldn't believe it. Listen, it's a hard job for those guys because it's happening fast, but I don't know if there was ever more obvious pass interference.
Came to the sideline, looked at the football gods, like, thank you. Got away with one tonight. It is what it is.
All right, Shannon, was this call the biggest reason why New Orleans lost?
No. There are a lot of things the Saints could have done to keep it from coming down to this play, Skip. Saints gets the ball to start the game. They drive down the field. They get into the red zone. They kick a field goal. The Rams' first possession, they turn the football over. Saints got it in their territory, and they get another field goal. So in 5 red zone possessions, they get 2 touchdowns. They could have ended this. Okay, Sean Payton, tell me what you're thinking. You get this big play to Ted Ginn Jr. You got it first and whatever it is at the 15-yard line. Mm-hmm. Why are you throwing a pass? Why not run the ball, make them burn a timeout? Okay, you throw it. Are we going to talk about how Drew Brees threw it in the dirt? Now, I told you, everybody didn't want to talk about, you too hard on the quarterback. Drew Brees stepped off a cliff, Skip Bayless. In his last 6 starts in the regular season, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 6.7 yards per attempt. Over a full season, that's the exact same yards per attempt as Blake Bortles. Drew Brees and the Saints offense has not been the same since they went to Dallas and got beat on that Monday night.
Quick point. I completely concur with you. All of the criticism you aimed at Tom Brady, it works on Drew Brees because I think he stepped off the cliff. He's showing diminished skill, diminished arm strength,
Yes.
diminished accuracy, diminished guts,
Yes.
whatever that is.
The Saints and Drew Brees, 10 points in the final 3 quarters.
I agree with that.
What?
And what are they up? 13 to nothing and 20 to 10? That's 20 to 10 with 3:34 left at home in the third quarter.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
You got to close the deal.
Okay.
You got to close the
6-0
deal.
at home with Sean Payton?
Yes.
Okay.
Look, Skip.
I got you.
This is not the first. See, and this is not the first time that a call hasn't been made that a team felt they've been wrong. This is just the latest. So everybody gets heightened. Well, they need to change the rules. They need to be able to replay it. They need to be able to do this. No. Stop letting it come down to this. Because I've been told we're not going to let one call determine the outcome of the ball game. Now everybody wants to let one call, even coaches, one call determine the outcome of the ball game. Saints had plenty of opportunities to put this game away. You wanted the game in your building at home. You got it. So instead of being up 13-0, you really should have been up 21-0. And now maybe it's a different ball game. Maybe it's a different outcome. But we're not going to give the Rams any credit because Drew Brees put up all those big flashy numbers. Wade Phillips said, not this game. They took Michael Thomas away. Remember last game, Skip, 12 for 211. This time he had 4 for 36.
Yep.
And there's no one outside of him that can make plays in the passing game.
Correct.
They found a way to shut down Alvin Kamara because I thought Alvin Kamara was going to catch like 25 passes. At the rate he was going, Skip, I was like, he's going to catch by 25. But give those guys credit. Yes, Skip, it should have been a pass interference. I saw it in real time. I said, that's a flag. And then he went helmet to helmet. That wasn't no bang, bang. Bang, bang. No. The guy made a mistake. But this is not, I'm sure if we go back over time, Skip, we'll find more egregious mistakes that officials have made. But officials are like players, Skip. Just like we see guys, he's been pressing the whole game. Why is he not pressing now? Because you guess what? Ain't nobody going to remember the first, the second, or third quarter. But if I give up a late touchdown in the fourth quarter overtime, what they going to remember? The official's going to say, hold on, wait a minute. If I throw this flag in this situation and I cost the Rams the ball game, that's what everybody's going to be talking about. But guess what? Everybody's talking about it now because you didn't throw. Skip, I'm a firm believer. Call what your eyes see. Forget if it's the first quarter, if it's the last 2 minutes of the game. If you see a foul committed, throw the flag, and you'll never be wrong. Don't say, we hear that in basketball. Skip, you got to swallow your whistle. Here, swallow the whistle. If it's a foul, it's a foul. Just like D Ford. D Ford lined up off sides. It's a 5-yard penalty regardless of the time of game that it is.
Nobody could argue with that.
Yep.
But I am going to argue with you about this one. All I know is that it did come down to a play that was not called, a foul that was not called with 1 minute and 48 seconds left. I do not disagree with any point you made because we can go back and forth about they didn't. But they still were in position to go to the Super Bowl with 1 minute and 48 seconds left. And because of that, for me, and again, I'll be the first to publicly admit this. I had a small personal stake here because I picked New Orleans and New England before the year started to get to the Super Bowl. And so I think I'm going to the Super Bowl with New Orleans and New England. And I wasn't. And for me, that became the worst blown call in NFL history. And then the harder this morning I thought about it.
No, the Tuck rule is still the worst.
No, I'll tell you why it's not. That was the divisional round game, and it was a horrendous call, but at least it was, and I've covered that game, and I'm with you. I'm anti-Brady Patriots on that. It was not the Tuck rule, but the point was the NFL strongly argued through Mike Pereira, now with Fox, that it was the Tuck rule operating there and that it was the correct call. So at least that one was debatable and it was in the divisional round.
Okay.
At least the Des Bryant catch, which I thought was a catch, was highly debatable. What the referee threw his hands up and called it a touchdown.
He did.
But you could go back and forth on, did he have it? I thought he ran 3 strides with it, but at least 2.
Right.
And he switched the ball over to his left hand because he's left-handed and tried to slam it on the goal line. I thought that was a catch. But the point was there was still time left for Aaron Rodgers to do what Aaron Rodgers has often done. So I can't say that's the worst call ever. We can go back to that 99 NFC Championship game, that Burt Emanuel rule. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, we can go back and forth, but it was debatable whether it was a catch or not a catch.
Correct.
So the point on this one was there's no gray area. There's no debate here. Even Nickel Roby-Coleman said after the game, I did it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah, you never admit it, though.
Right, huh?
You never admit it because...
Well, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, he
I
just
know.
blurted.
Surprised by that.
Like, he's just like, I did it. I got away with
Gods
it.
are on my side.
Right? The NFL immediately said after the game from Al Riveron in the league office, we missed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not even debatable. It's a blown call. It's clearly cut and dried a blown call. Well, I can't remember anything worse in sports history than this one because it it simply decided whether the Rams or the Saints are going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And so now you could say the Rams are a counterfeit Super Bowl team. They don't really belong in the Super Bowl. I can make that case because if you throw that flag, and obviously, to me, when it happened in real time, I wasn't quite sure what had happened. And then on the first replay, I'm like, wait a minute. He gets there like a whole second early.
Yes.
And he's face guarding. That used to be part of pass interference.
Right.
And it's clearly helmet to helmet.
Yes.
Well, how much more of an egregious pass interference call can you get?
And Skip,
right?
here's the thing. There's a side judge and a back judge right there on top of it.
Yeah.
What's your job? That's your job.
Okay? And thank you for bringing that up. So this is what irks me about the NFL. Those officials are all faceless to me. I don't know their names.
Right.
I know some of the head referees. I know some of them because they have personalities to them. Mm-hmm. But in this case, I look at these guys and I say, who was responsible here? Because I think now that pro football is being bet upon by most of the people in the country, now that it's legal to bet on it in so many places, shouldn't they be held accountable as referees? Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to call their names, but I don't know who should have thrown the flag. There's a side judge, Gary Cavaletto. Is he the guy? I have no idea. The back judge, Todd Prokop. Should he have pulled his flag out? How about the field judge, Tom Hill? Should he have pulled his? I don't know, but it's possible there's 7 referees in the crew.
Yes.
It's possible 5 of them had a chance they could all pull their flag out because they all saw it pretty clearly, I think.
Yes.
And they all, so to speak, swallowed their whistle, right?
Yep.
So to me, you've got to make them more accountable. The NFL needs to come clean with it and be completely transparent after the game and say, our side judge so-and-so failed to pull his flag.
Skip, it happened. They called a foul on Chris Jones. That wasn't no unnecessary roughness. That wasn't no personal foul on Tom Brady.
I agree with that, but on the same play, I thought Edelman got interfered with. Well, these plays happen every other play.
And the same thing happened with Jared Goff when he scrambled. Didn't the guy grab his face mask?
They
didn't call the foul.
Right.
So they average
but
way
for
out.
me, I have to come down to the climax play because this is it. If you throw that flag, it's going to be first and goal at the 5-ish, somewhere around the 5.
Probably.
And you can run clock, you can run the ball, you can eat the clock all the way down to, I don't know, it's 148 left. You could get it down to.
So if you run it, they got 2 timeouts at that point, Skip.
Okay.
So you run it, they call timeout. You run it again. If you don't get in, call timeout. The next time you can run it. So you're going to run. So they're going to get the ball back if you don't get the ball into the end zone. They're going to get the ball back.
You can eat a whole bunch of clock.
Yeah, 55 seconds.
You're not going to give them a whole lot of time.
No.
And you could also get it in the end zone.
Right.
You could.
Right.
You sure could. And then if you eat clock and get it in the end zone, I just don't think the Rams are going to be able to pull that rabbit out of their hat.
But Skip, this game should have never even gone to overtime.
Okay, I got that.
Because Jared Goff has Robert Woods. They come with a 0 blitz.
I saw it.
And the guy stumbles.
He fell down. I know. But so did Robert Woods.
Yes.
I know.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the next play.
Robert Woods is gone.
Yeah, the next play, Goff threw it.
He did.
He sped up faster than what he needed to be.
I
because
agree.
if he does it, Robert Woods is going to walk into the end zone.
Okay. So I want to congratulate the Los Angeles Rams because to all your points, they did all those good things, going all the way back to a 13-0 deficit early in the second quarter. And Sean McVay and maybe John Fossil, the special teams coach, I don't know who called it, but somebody called a fake punt.
They got him again. Remember, they ran it the first time. They came up a little short. But, Skip, I think the most important thing was the Rams were able to weather the storm early.
Well, that fake punt might have saved the game.
It did.
It's starting to feel like 20-0, right?
It did because if you go down 28-0, 21-0,
you're not.
I don't believe you're coming back from that.
No. Okay.
13-0, like, well, hold on, we get a touchdown, we right back in this thing.
So I also want to congratulate the Rams because they did something that few have been able to do to the New Orleans Saints, especially in that dome.
Right.
They turned them into one-dimensional.
Yes. Yeah.
That was 41 passes to only 21 runs. Why was it only 21 runs? Because they only got a grand total of 48 yards. So the Rams held the Saints, Kamara, Ingram, to 2.3 yards per rush. Well, guess who had the ball back in his hands?
Jared Goff.
Well, no, I mean Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, yeah.
Yeah, so remember their formula for wins all through the first half of the season, that they would be 50-50 pass run.
And you look at it, Skip, the first time they played, 34 rushes, 41 yards.
Yep.
Drew Brees threw for 346. This time around, they only had 290 yards total.
Well, it's
Had
because
487 the first time.
because the ball kept winding up in Drew Brees' hands, throwing it,
Yeah.
and he was not
Yeah,
Drew Brees,
yeah.
right?
And the thing is, if I take away Skip, I was like, why don't someone take Michael Thomas away? Well, you see what happens when they take Michael Thomas away?
Well,
you
what have we been
want
saying
Kirk
all
to-
year?
Yes.
Well,
Different.
you're throwing to whom? Remember, Benjamin Watson is gone.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Well, at least he brought Super Bowl experience, right? And then the backup tight heel, that Josh Hill.
Yes.
He's got concussed. If
Right.
he was gone, so now you're down to the third string tight end. Well, pretty soon you're going to lose on pure
Right.
talent.
Yeah.
You got nobody. Taquan Smith is your other wideout.
Yeah,
Ted
Taquan-
Ginn got open. Yeah.
He made a big play.
He did.
Kirkwood, Lewis. Okay, if you guys going to beat me, and that's what Coach... Give Wade Phillips some credit, Skip, because like I said, last time they gave up 45 points.
Yeah.
They 487 total yards. Drew Brees was unbelievable. Kamara and Ingram ran the football exceptionally well. None of that transpired this time. Now, you see what they did. On 79% of the pass plays, they doubled Aaron Donald. And Ndamukong Suh showed his head.
Yeah.
He did.
Now, Skip, I don't know if you noticed it, but the last two games,
Yes.
the Ndamukong Suh that we saw as a rookie, and when he wants to play, can dominate a game.
I saw 93 a lot yesterday.
Yes.
I did.
So you know what New England's going to do. They're going to take Aaron Donald away. That means Ndamukong Suh is going to have one-on-one.
Yep. And Fowler Fowler made the big play, got in Brees' face that forced the interception, right?
Yep.
So back to what I think is the worst blown call in sports history.
Worse than that 85 call in the World Series?
I do. I brought that up this morning before the show. Denkinger,
Yeah.
St. Louis, Kansas
Skip,
City.
he was out, though.
He was out. That was inarguable. I will agree. But this just, I don't know, somehow the Super Bowl now has transcended the World Series to me.
Well, yeah.
You
Yeah, it
know,
is.
It just has. But in the end, how do you fix this? Because there is a fix. And the fix is you can go Canadian Football League where they allow you to review pass interference.
No.
I don't love that until the last 2 minutes. What if you pass a new rule, new legislation, that you can review pass interference at least inside of the last 2 minutes? Would that have fixed that? If that had gone to review, would it not have been quickly overturned?
So hold on. Who's going to throw the challenge? So a coach gets a challenge flag so he can challenge it, or the officials are upstairs, they're going to, because you know upstairs is not going to review it.
Yeah,
because if you review that from upstairs, oh boy, people go like, hold on, the fix is in, Skip.
Okay. What if you review every pass interference in the last 2 minutes?
No.
Just to make sure.
It's going to take too long, Skip.
Well, I don't care. I want to get it right.
No.
I don't care about
I want to get
duration.
the game over with and go home.
Well, no, you don't. You don't want to get that over with.
Could take a lot of
wait
time,
a second. You picked the Saints before the
did.
year started.
But hold on. Remember,
Still want to go home?
No, Skip. Remember, though, we had this conversation on Friday, and you asked me how confident I was in this pick.
I got
and
it.
I believe you and I both only stayed with our picks because we picked them at the beginning of the year, and we didn't want to flip-flop.
I was pretty shaky on it.
Yes.
So am I surprised the Rams won? No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Because you can argue they're just playing at a higher level.
Right.
And maybe you can argue Jared Goff's playing a little higher level than Drew Brees.
The numbers don't lie. You look at Drew Brees' performance. You look at the way this offense has performed since they left Dallas. Skip, this is not the same offense. That's not the same Drew Brees.
Yep.
Now, we can make it. We can come down. Okay, fine. If you want to make it about the final call, yeah, it should have been pass interference. Yes, it should have been helmet to helmet. But if you believe Drew Brees played well yesterday, you're sadly mistaken. If you believe he's played well since he's left Dallas, you're sadly
he
mistaken.
had flashes yesterday, but he didn't play any four quarters well.
Not even close.
Not even close. He
10
played about a quarter well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in the end, do you realize that Jared Goff went 7 for 7 for 107 yards to a little man named Brandon Cooks, who used to be a New England Patriot, right? Yep. So here we go again. So now what will Belichick do? Will he say, you can't have him? Can't have Brandon Cooks?
You have to give the Rams a lot of credit. Skip, they were going for it. When you trade for Brandon Cooks, when you trade for Aqib Talib, you sign Ndamukong Suh in free agency.
Yep.
You go out and get Andrew Whitworth. You pay tons of money to get Wade Phillips out from Denver. Man, look here. They say, we going for it.
I know. And if they still had their little Cooper Kupp, he's not that little actually, their Edelman.
Yeah. And you give Aaron Donald a king's ransom.
Yep.
They say we going for it. We're not waiting. A couple of years we'll be okay. No. We're going for it right now. Now I think the process in which it happened so quick. I mean, this is only the second year. The dude is 32. The dude's 32 years old, Skip Bayless.
Which dude?
Sean McVay.
Oh, yeah.
33 Thursday, right?
Yeah.
His birthday coming up.
No,
Crazy.
I got it. Well, now he's going. The boy genius is going
And
up
you
against
think
genius.
Jerry Jones could have had that?
You think so?
Jerry Jones could have had
He's
that.
got Jason Garrett.
Oh, that would you like?
Yeah.
You like that?
He's gonna be the head coach and the play caller next
You can
year.
do it all.
Skip,
Way to go.
Skip, Jason Garrett
Talk
made
about
like
that
he
later.
Yeah.
he made like he called and played like he was Josh McDaniels or Sean McVay. Dude, when you was calling play, y'all wasn't no top 5 offense.
Nope. Don't get me started.
At least
please.
Scott Linehan says, you know what? I got 3 division titles. I got 3 Russian champs on my resume.
Yep.
What you got, Jason? A whole bunch of 8 and 8s.
I hate to remind you, Shannon, your Super Bowl picks, you're done.
I'm
You're
done.
out. Skip's still alive.
I got
Picked
one.
Patriots, still going over
Chalk.
here.
Moving forward, filing petition. No chalk. Moving forward, no chalk. You're not going to just take. That means just like picking the Golden State. Oh, I got the Warriors in the finals. Really? Want to go out on a limb, Skip?
Well, wait a second.
What do you mean?
The Patriots weren't chalk.
They were
Yeah.
chalk. Who was
Who were
favorite at the
not?
beginning of the year? Who was the favorite to get to the Super Bowl?
I have no
Patriots.
idea. It wasn't the Patriots.
Yes, it was.
Nobody really believed that.
Yeah, they did.
Well, this guy did. And we're going to go back to the
Whatever.
Patriots Chiefs. Was yesterday more about Tom Brady or more about Bill Belichick? We'll discuss next.
Good.
No mercy.
All right, let's get back to the NFL. Tom Brady and the Patriots are headed to their 3rd straight Super Bowl. After beating the Chiefs last night, Brady threw 2 interceptions in the game, but he also led the Patriots on a 13-play drive to set up the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Brady and Bill Belichick are now headed to their 9th Super Bowl together. Let's take a listen to Brady after the win.
It's a great feeling. I think we've overcome a lot this year. Down but not out. And we found a way to play our best the last 4 games. Buffalo, Jets, had the bye, played great against Chargers, played really well today. And we're going to need one more great game. So that was pretty great way to end it. I was probably as excited as I've been in a long time. And, a lot of things, one play here, one play there, could have changed everything, but that's football. And just proud of our team.
All right, Shannon, how about this question? What % of the credit goes to Brady and what % goes to Belichick for yesterday's win?
Skip, I know this is probably going to be unpopular, but it's got to be 50-50 because Coach Belichick's defense, what they did the first half. If someone would have told you the number 1 scoring team in all of football would have 0 points and 32 total yards in the first half and a turnover, what would you have said? You're like, you crazy. You crazy. Coach Belichick normally has great game plans if he sees you for the second time during the same season. You remember what happened when he faced the Rams, Skip, in 2001? He saw him early in the year. At home, they lost.
Did.
And he came with a total – he's like, man, I'm giving y'all all these free releases. Y'all running up and down the field on me. That's not about to happen. Got physical, played some unconventional football from what we used to see in Coach Belichick play. But to see Coach Belichick come out and go cover 0, middle of the field is vacated. Put pressure. They got pressure on Pat Mahomes. Well, you can't bless Mahomes with Tyreek and Kelsey. Coach Belichick said, watch me. I'm going to do what you say I can't do. And he got away with it. I mean, no one thought that they were going to shut the Kansas City out. No one thought they were going to be able to hold them down. And some of the plays that Pat Mahomes made, Skip, you can't coach against that. If the guy's going to break the pocket and throw the ball 60 yards, 40 yards over your head, there's nothing you can do about that. Because you look at Gilmore, Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore. He's like, I'm perfect. I got Sammy Watkins covered twice. And then all of a sudden he wheels and runs up and Pat Mahomes throws the ball 50 yards over my head. What am I supposed to do about that, coach? But then, because Brady, I have to give 50-50. Had Brady not made those mistakes, I probably would have leaned 75-25 Brady. But Skip throwing an interception on the 1-yard line, that wasn't tip, that wasn't nothing. That was a bad play. And you think, you say the ball caromed off Edelman's hand. I think he got flashed by D Ford, and that's what happened in the ball carom. But anyway, I'm going to give him credit for overcoming that because he was spectacular late in the fourth quarter and in overtime. But it's got to be 50-50. Coach Belichick, I would have never guessed. If someone told me they were going to come out there and play cover 0 and they were going to blitz Pat Mahomes with that offense, I wouldn't have believed it. They choked off their run. They refused to let him run the football. They said, we want Pat Mahomes to throw it. We want the ball in his hands. Very few teams did that this year and said, we want the ball in a guy's hands that threw 50 touchdowns for over 5,000 yards. Give both of these guys credit.
So for all the reasons you just detailed, I'm going to give Coach Belichick 25% of the credit. And that's high for me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick with the credit I break down for the dynasty, in the big picture, which is 75-25. Yesterday, it was Tom Brady, 75, to Bill Belichick, 25. Because all that mattered was keeping Belichick's sometimes sorry defense off the field. And he did that. Tom Brady did that. Tom Brady won time of possession 44 minutes to 21 minutes. In the first half, to your point, he won it 21 minutes to 9 minutes. Now, I was surprised and impressed by what you said. I was surprised and impressed they took Tyreek away. He caught one ball for 42 yards, and it was a hellacious good route, design, and throw into the wind.
Right.
That was special. That's hard to stop. And
Yes.
That's against double coverage.
Correct.
And they took Kelsey mostly away. They kept him to a low roar. 3 catches for 23 yards.
He had 2 drops
Right.
and a fumble
He
that
did.
got negated.
He seemed like he was playing out of character, out of rhythm, like the stage was getting a little big for Travis Kelce.
And I think what happens, Skip, is hard, when you're a guy like this, like he is, that's used to getting the ball.
Yep.
Look how long he went before he touched the ball. It really wasn't until the second half when he got that touchdown,
Yep.
when he first felt the ball. So he was never able to get to a rhythm where he was comfortable.
So what did they do? With that mush rush of theirs, they're just all standing up, moving around at the snap, and you can't figure out who's coming from where, and then it might be a slot corner blitz, it might be one of the high towers coming from inside, and they bothered Patrick Mahomes in the first half. They got to him 4 times in the game, which is, remember, this is the 30th ranked sack team.
Correct.
You know?
Yep.
30th in sacks, tied for 30th. And yet they generated pressure I didn't think they could. They held the 2 biggest weapons down. And yet, and still, in the fourth quarter, I'm going to remind everybody again, Patrick Mahomes had the ball just enough to score 24 points. He had the ball 3 minutes of the fourth quarter and scored 24 points. Well, if Tom Brady has time of possession that's closer to, 30 minutes to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
What if it's 30-30? It's a wipeout. They can't stop them.
Give him 30.
Yeah.
Give him 38-22.
Yeah.
Give him anything.
But 44-21?
Yeah.
Tom Brady went 13 of 19 on third down. Not all throws, but 11 of the 13 were passes. I'm sorry, 9. 9 of 13 because he went 9 for 11 on third down. That's for 119 yards. So he's the one who's possessing the ball. Keep away, keep away, keep away. And Patrick Mahomes just doesn't have the ball enough.
Right.
And the Patriot defense is mostly watching much of the game.
Yep.
So they're fresh the whole game. When they come in the end, they're still very fresh. I would give Josh McDaniels a little bit of the credit because I thought he called a clever game in the first half. He called 4 runs on third down in the first half that were just clever.
But you see what they were doing, Skip? What they were doing is that every time, and Tom did a great job of this, every time they brought nickel on the field, Tom would check to a run. He says, I'm going to run you out of this. Because remember, the Chargers tried to play all those DBs. So they run them up out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob Sutton tries to counter. He brings 5 D linemen on the field. Okay, we're going to throw you out of it. Because you couldn't stop the run in any situation, now you're at the mercy of the Patriots. So we're going to dictate what we want you to play. Okay, we're gonna stay in nickel. And the next thing you know, they're running the ball with Sonny Michel and James White. But Skip, if you think about it early on, they were in third and short. All the third downs they were in early were under 4 yards. So now you're really at our mercy because we can run it, we can throw it. But James White made some unbelievable catches on third down.
He made a couple of runs on third down.
And that's what you have to have, Skip.
Well,
Because they could be dropped. It's fourth down, you're off the field, you're punting. You catch the ball, you stay on the field, and Tom Brady eat more time.
Where Josh McDaniels lost me in the second half was we got to a crucial 4th and short, and it's just Tom Brady time. He is simply the greatest quarterback sneaker in the history of the league, and I can just show you the numbers. He's virtually unstoppable on 4th and a half yard sneaking the ball. He'll make the right choice. He'll go left or right.
Yeah, but Skip, as he's getting older, you don't want to be taking those headshots anymore.
Well, do I want Rex Burkhead taking a sack around the knees?
Well, the guy shot the gap. Sorensen shot the gap. But at 41, Skip, do you really want him because guys know what's coming now.
In the AFC Championship game, I'm good with it. When the money's on the table, I'm good with it because I don't think anybody's going to hit him with a running start helmet to helmet. And you lost me there, and then you lost me. I don't know why Rex Burkhead took completely over for Sony Michel. What happened on the other fourth down call in the fourth quarter? Brady checked out of a pass play. He kill, and he went to Sony Michel, who happened to be in the game, I think, to throw it to him maybe. And he just split the guard and the tackle and hit it for a 10-yard touchdown.
Yep.
And that was his one big play of the fourth quarter. The rest was Rex Burkhead. I'm assuming they look at Rex Burkhead as more of a power back.
Correct.
Maybe they trust him more with the ball in his hands with the game on the line.
Yeah.
That he won't fumble. Sony Michel's a rookie. So maybe Belichick decided, let's get him out.
The Chiefs had 31 points on 47 plays. Skip, that's unheard of.
It's unheard of. It's impossible.
With 21 minutes time of possession.
Well, so you go into the game knowing if my quarterback can keep it away from their quarterback, I have a chance.
Yes.
Now, he set tone early with defense, but not in the second half.
No.
Because they were getting exposed, just the way they got exposed in Foxborough.
Well, the thing is, Skip, is that you got to minimize. You got to keep the crowd out of the game as long as you possibly can.
Yep.
And they were able to do that in the first half of the ball game. Give them credit. But Coach Belichick coming up with this game plan is going to be very interesting to see because they don't face the Rams very often. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to combat what they do because. And hopefully Todd Gurley, I still believe Todd Gurley's hurt, but a lot of people do not. We're going to talk about that a little later. It's going to be interesting because the Rams can run the ball with Gurley and CJ, and hopefully with another week in between the championship game and Super Bowl, Gurley can get a little healthy. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he approaches this game because they still have a speed guy. Now, Cooks is not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he ran 4.32 coming out, and he still can fly.
Yeah, and Goff loves him. They got a good connection.
Yeah.
So I give 100% of the credit for yesterday to Robert Kraft for forcing Belichick to trade Jimmy G.
Man, I don't know if I've seen Mr. Kraft as happy the way he was banging on that weather like a kid.
I know.
Mr. Kraft was so happy. Hey, Mr. Kraft, Mr. Kraft, good. Yeah, I like Mr.
So happy.
Yeah. No, you do.
I like Mr. Kraft.
You can't help but be happy for him. I mean,
Well, Mr. Kraft and Mr. Belichick should thank their lucky stars for Tom Brady.
yeah.
They should thank Coach Belichick for choosing him because he bought all the grocery and determined what we're going to have on the menu on a given Sunday. And it's always delicioso.
I'm going to take the GOAT in the 6th round. I'll wait till the 6th round because nobody's going to take the GOAT in the second round.
Because they don't.
Third round.
No,
Nobody's going to.
They don't know what we know.
Oh, really?
The thing about a genius, they say genius sees things that nobody else sees and hits the target.
Huh.
Nobody saw that.
So Genius saw that 40-yard dash he ran and said, that doesn't matter.
You know what? I actually Googled it last
Did
night
you?
after the game because I was like, I need to see this again. Like, look where he started and look where he is now.
Who's gonna take a tight end, Skip,
Pretty
that's
ugly.
coming off back surgery in the second round? He did.
I'll give you that one.
Who's gonna take an undrafted wide receiver, a quarterback, and say, you know what? We think you'll be a pretty good slot receiver.
I'll give you that, but it's still, it's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Got to respect the guy. Super Bowl number 9. How is he going to handle the Rams? Well, hey, we've got the Rambassador here next, Eric Dickerson. Is he going to admit that his team got just a little bit lucky yesterday? He'll join us next.
No mercy.
Rams advanced to the Super Bowl, but it wasn't without controversy. With under 2 minutes left in the fourth, Drew Brees threw an incompletion, and everyone thought it was pass interference, except for the refs. No call was made, and the Saints had to settle for a field goal. Sean Payton said he talked to the league after the game, and they said a flag should have been thrown on the play. We are joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. He was in New Orleans for the game.
The ambassador is in town.
Yeah, he is.
I'm back.
Do you have no shame?
I have no shame.
See what you created?
Yeah,
See what you created?
You created this month.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Minnie ED told me he would love to be here, but he had to stay in New Orleans and party.
Celebrate?
He had to
Still
party just a
celebrating.
little.
I hope he's not in jail this
No,
morning.
he's not. He's probably not in jail.
Yeah.
This month. But let me take my hat off.
Hey, we want to
I
see
need-
the full you.
I needed to ask, are those devil's horns coming out of there or not? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really well done hat.
Thank
Okay,
you very
Eric,
much.
I gotta ask though.
Yes.
How lucky were your Rams?
Yeah, good
Can
question,
we say
Jenny.
lucky?
No, you can't say lucky. You know, I'll say this much here. Was it a bad call? Yes, it was a bad call. It's no doubt. This bad calls in sports.
Yeah.
I mean, they happen all the time. This isn't the first bad call that's ever happened. Did that lose the game? No, it did not. That's not guaranteed that he was going to even catch the ball. It wasn't guaranteed it was going to be a touchdown. There's no guarantee, so we don't know what was going to happen.
Right.
I think about, we were down 13-0, 13-zip, and it was a tip ball that came off Todd Gurley's hand that possibly we could have went down 21-zip. That would have been pretty bad. Right. But I have to give the Rams credit. They stuck in there, held in there, the defense held. When I think about really a bad play that say lost that football game, if you want to, you never point fingers because why? This is a football team. Everybody wins and loses together. But when Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints got down by the goal line with, I think it was like a minute and 50-something seconds left, and he tried to throw the ball to Michael Thomas. That was a bad call. I'm like, oh, perfect.
Yes.
Right. Throw the ball. Bro.
Why you stop the clock?
Right. Run the ball twice. To me, I think that was kind of vintage, the arrogance of Sean Payton.
I would agree.
And so we're going to...
By the way, I think he told Drew Brees, if it's not there, just throw it in the dirt, because I think it was a safe pass. I think he was just being careful, because you don't want to throw it to the Rams.
But why would you...
I don't know. I don't know, because it's Sean Payton trying to say, look at me.
I think one of the big plays in that game, too, was also the fake punt. Now, you know that was coming. You know that was coming. And that gave us 3 points. But I think one of the big things is when we went in at halftime, 13-10. That was a win for us. I'm like, 13-10.
Couldn't play any worse.
Couldn't play any worse. Can't hear. When I say you can't hear, you can't hear. The offensive linemen were literally passing the signals down, talking to each other because you can't hear.
Were you on the sideline or up?
I was on the sidelines, and I went up top because it was very loud, I got to say.
That loud.
You can't hear in that stadium. But, was it a bad call? I'll go back to that. Yes, it was a bad. Were we lucky? No, we're not. That team never ever gave up. I told you, we are a good football. Nobody gives the Rams credit. At one point, we're 13-3. The Rams are so flashy, they Hollywood. We live in Hollywood. Yeah. This is Los Angeles. How are we supposed to be? Like North America? Hey, that's what we are. This is a great football team with a bunch of great guys. And I got to say, they say you got away with one. Pretty much every team gets away with one. But that was a big call. But, all I say is this here, we won the game.
Whew. You know what? You look at this game. From the second quarter on, the Rams had 365 yards of total offense. The Saints had 166, so almost outgained them by 200 yards, Skip. And I agree with ED. The Saints had the ball 5 times in the red zone. They get 2 touchdowns. You got to cash those in. Drive the nail in the coffin because the Rams were able to weather the storm early. And that's what you have to do. You go on the road, the crowd's going to be in a frenzy. I'm a firm believer in this. I don't believe you can win the game in the first quarter, but you can lose it. You go down 21-0. You go down 24-0 in the fourth quarter. That's over. Yeah. But they kept the game close. 13-0 ain't that bad. Now we're 13-3, 13-10. We go at halftime, we 13-10. Hold on, guys. We can't play any worse than what we played. They only got a 3-point lead. And we get the ball coming out at the half. We got to feel real good with where we are. Drew Brees didn't play well yesterday, Skip. They didn't run the football because normally when they can run the football, now they can play action. Now that deep over route that they throw to Michael Thomas is normally there. It wasn't there yesterday. People don't realize how big an addition Aqib Talib is because he allows them to do a lot of different things because now Peters gets to play his normal position, gets to play on the other side, and Talib, Aqib is going to go out there and he's going to match up against your best guy. Put hands on him and be physical. That's what they do. Aaron Donald, they doubled him. But Ndamukong Suh was a monster yesterday, and that's what they needed. They did a great job. Look, it was a call. Yes, it was blatant. It was obvious. It wasn't bang, bang. I didn't think it was a bang, bang play, and I saw it in real time. Now, I didn't notice the helmet skip until they went back. I was like, but that's P.I. That's blatant P.I. But they also grabbed Jerry Goff's face mask on the scramble. They didn't call that. It happened. Plays happen. You got to play through all that. Give the Rams credit because no one really thought that. You and I did because we picked the Saints. Skip and I picked.
Skip kind of sit on the. He played both sides. He's a double agent. He's like Don King. He played. Yeah, he's a double. He said, "Well, I think the Rams."
Well, we stuck with it. He's like,
"I'm not pick." Who did you pick?
Did he pick the Saints? I know.
I picked the Saints before the year started.
Yeah, but you said I'm not feeling good about this. I saw you tweet.
How could you?
I'm not feeling good about this.
I wasn't feeling good.
I went with my team the whole way. We're going to win.
I went with my team the whole way.
The Cowboys.
And by the way, it is is now my turn, and
It is.
I hate to inform you this, but you are now supporting a counterfeit Super Bowl team. A fraudulent Super Bowl team. A team that does not belong in the Super Bowl is your Los Angeles Rams. That was simply the worst blown call in sports history. I don't know a worse one in the National Football League annals, and I can't think of a really worse one in sports. You brought up the World Series Paul Dinkinger at first base. This is one step from the Super Bowl. And I don't disagree with all the points you made about all the good things, maybe great things, your Rams did. But at that point, it's only 1:48 left. And at that point, it is blatant, clear pass interference or helmet to helmet or all of the above. It should have been a 30-yard penalty, right?
Walking me to the end zone. He wanted to walk me to the end zone.
Give him a touchdown. Because even Nickel Roby Coleman said after the game, I did it, and we got away with it. And the league office just jumped right up and said, we missed that one. We screwed up big time. That is all-time robbery down in the French Quarter. It was a robbery.
Mini-Me still there. Hold it down.
Well, okay. I hope he's not in trouble, but I don't know. You never know. But to me, it boils down to it's going to be first and goal at the 5-ish somewhere with 1:48 left, and they're going to run it, and the clock's going to run. They're going to run it again, the clock's going to run. They run it again. They might run it in the end zone. If they run it in the end zone, you're cooked. You're dead. But even if they just take the 3, you're going to have under a minute. I don't know what it's going to be, 45 seconds. You're going to have a hard time because you had enough time this way, and your quarterback played really well yesterday.
Didn't he?
He surprised me with how well, and he loves him some Brandon Cooks. He threw him 7 balls, and he caught all 7 for 107 yards. That was the difference in the game to me, and I agree. All of the criticism both of you have leveled at Tom Brady actually needs to be aimed at Drew Brees because Father Time is tapping him on the shoulder. He doesn't have the velocity. He doesn't have the arm he used to have. I don't think he has the reflexes. I don't think he has the fortitude in the pocket. He's not what he used to be. And that Dallas loss, boy, it knocked the soup out of him because he was playing at a high level up to then. But, Shannon, we've been a long time since the Dallas loss, and he never got it back.
Nope.
So, again, was he good in the first quarter? Yeah.
Yes.
Did your coach or your special teams coach make a crucial, gutsy call to save? It's a game saver to me, the fake punt.
Bones is unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. John Fossil.
Yeah, actually, he was the ball boy.
Oh.
His dad used to be the offensive coordinator in Denver. He was the ball boy for us. So I remember when he was a little kid. But he's unbelievable at what he does. But they still haven't found the answer for Brandon Cooks yet. Skip, he went for $114 the first time and a touchdown. He goes for $107 this time.
Right.
So they still haven't found an answer for him. But give Wade Phillips credit because he shut off their run.
He took him completely out of their run.
Totally
for 2/3 of the year, they were one of the top rushing teams. Then Dallas knocked the soup out of that.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden yesterday, they go 21 rushes for 48 yards. That's 2.3 a try. And it forced the ball 41 times into Drew Brees' hands to throw it.
And
that's the wrong formula for them.
And
they have to be 50-50.
They had one run for 16 yards.
Yeah.
So if you take that away, so they had 20 for 32.
They went nowhere fast.
If I'd have told you that Todd Gurley would have 16 yards total offense and we'd win the football game, you'd say no way.
True.
Okay, but if you told me you signed the hottest back in pro football on December 16th, and then you...
But if I told you that guy was C.J. Anderson, what you'd have said? You'd have said, come on, you're out your mind. You're not the hottest back. Yeah.
And he's now C.J. Dickerson.
Renamed him for you.
And the more I look at him, the fatter he gets, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
He is Jerome Bettis.
It does not make a difference.
He runs hard and low and with force, man.
Good at blitz pickup.
Now you saying that's one of the worst calls for us in sports.
Ever. It's just so blatant because think of the big calls or non-calls in NFL history, the Tuck rule. Again, I thought it was blatant. The game should have been over. I was there. I covered it, and I'm going anti-patriot on that one. But it was at least debatable, and Mike Pereira, who was then representing the NFL, defended it as we got it right.
Well, since you brought it up, that was one of the worst calls.
Okay, but it was debatable, and the NFL did not back off.
You know what? Even when this happened, some guys said, well, it was kind of bang, bang. Even when I saw it, I said it's a pass interference. But you know this, yeah. You know as a player, they miss it all the time. Right. Like like you said, they missed the face mask on Jared Goff.
Okay.
They miss calls like
And
that.
I hate, you know what, Skip? I hate when the NFL does that.
Yeah.
They're not going to play this game over.
Right.
So what, are you going to put the Saints in the Super Bowl now? All you do is make a situation worse because the guy's like, see?
But it was so blatant. It's inarguable.
It's one
There's
call.
no gray area. Like the Dez Bryant, remember the catch play at Green Bay. Again, it's an earlier round playoff game, and it's debatable. Did he have it or not? I thought he ran 2 strides with it, put it in his left hand, tried to slam it on the goal line. To me, that's a catch. But the NFL argued, no, it wasn't a catch, even though the referee raised his hand.
Correct.
Okay, but at least there's some debate. There's no gray area on this one.
No.
It's all time.
It's all time.
It doesn't make a difference. It was no guarantee that was automatically a touchdown. It's no guarantee. Anything can happen. They could have fumbled the ball, intercept. That wasn't a guarantee.
I agree with that, but that's your guy's fault.
It still wasn't a guarantee he was going to catch it. It's not a guarantee. It's like he caught it, and it was right. It wasn't a guarantee. It's
but that's beside the point. That's irrelevant.
No, that is the point.
That's your guy's fault. Why didn't he play the ball?
But if that would have been the Dallas Cowboys, if that would have been one of y'all.
Because here's the thing, though. I get what you're saying, ED, because, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, they kicked the field goal with 40 seconds. There's no guarantee that we don't go down and kick a field goal to tie the game up and still sit in overtime.
Sit in overtime.
It depends how much of the clock they kick.
Yeah. Once
right?
again.
But what you guys screwed up, that ball was interceptable. If he looks and plays the ball on his timing, he could have gotten there because he got there plenty of time.
True.
Well, he
panicked
because he came from so far, Skip. He was panicking.
He said, I got to get to my guy.
Well, he admitted he was just
he did.
He was done.
But what are you gonna say, hey, ref? You know what? Throw the flag on me. Throw the flag. That was my fault.
Well, he was looking for it. He's looking around like.
Hey, he was looking for it. But hey, it's one they missed. And you got to say that we deserve to be right where we are. We deserve to be there.
If that flag gets thrown,
if
we're having
it was
a
a fifth, we'd all be falling off this stage.
If that flag gets thrown, you might not have showed up today.
Oh, I'd have showed up. I'd have still showed up. Well, you know
Probably
what?
without the hat, though.
I'm here. In my just in case y'all didn't see it.
Okay, well, Eric,
My hat is here too for you.
you are heading to the Super Bowl. But next up, you're facing Tom Brady. And you have been a little critical of this guy in the past. Are you going to give him some respect finally? Let's hear what you have to say about him next.
You don't have to play against him. So
Exactly.
you can say whatever.
That's what I want to say.
No mercy.
Well, Tom Brady and the Patriots are headed back to the Super Bowl. Eric Dickerson's still with us. Eric, this is the $1 million question. How impressive was the old-ass man yesterday?
That old-ass man was very impressive.
All right, he admits it.
I got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, Tom is a great quarterback, probably the greatest quarterback. I'm not disputing that at all. You know, he did what you expect Tom Brady to do. If you give Tom Brady 2 minutes to go down the field to win the game, I would say it's about a 99.9% chance that that's going to happen. And that's what happened yesterday. Yeah. I mean, even with the 2 interceptions, you know, some of it wasn't his fault. I think one of them wasn't his fault. We were kind of trying to watch the game on the plane coming back after our win. So was I impressed? I was very impressed. And you know, I say this and skipping, and I know how you feel. I still believe that Belichick and Tom Brady go hand in hand. I still think Belichick runs that motor. They're not the same guy. They're not the same team without each other. And for sure, Tom Brady was vintage Tom Brady. So I know you.
So you're going to allow him to play one more game before he retires, right?
Hey, you know, if he can play me 45 if he says.
Well, you realize you're going to do your team in because that old-ass man quote's going to get back to Brady again before you play.
I wanted to get back to him. I got some more for you. I'm gonna let you. I got some more for you over here. So yes.
Interesting.
Tom was a virtuoso. He was great when he needed to be. Skipper, if you think about it, he scored 3 touchdowns on his final 3 possessions. Had 4 possessions. He took the kneel down at the end of the game. Early on, what Tom Brady is smart enough to know, you know what? I ain't got to impress you guys. Okay, so what? I'm not throwing the ball 10 yards down the field. So what? First 3 quarters, only 6 times did he throw the ball 10 yards down the field. Fourth quarter in overtime, 17. So what he's saying is, okay, now because you want to, come to the edge, I'm going to throw over the top of your head.
Yep.
He made 3 mistakes, Skip, and he got away with 2 of them. They didn't make him. I mean, they scored a touchdown, but Eric Berry should have picked that ball. Eric Berry dropped the interception. He ended up throwing a touchdown to Dorsett.
Which ball are you talking about? To Gronk?
Yeah, he was throwing one to Gronk, and he overshot Gronk, and Eric Berry had an opportunity to pick it, and he didn't pick it, and it led to end up going and getting a touchdown out of that. D Ford. let me ask you a question. Skip, here's the guy. D Ford is lied in what we call a wide 9. He's in a cock stance, which means he's out wide. He's about 2 yards outside the tackle. And he's turned inside. Dude, your waist is at the ball. Hell, he could have been in the Patriots backfield. I thought he was a Patriots player.
His hand is in the ground in the Patriots backfield.
Yes!
Yeah.
And then he looking up at the jumbotron like, what? Dude, you offside.
Yeah, he way offside.
Those are the things that you can't have happen. But, Skip, let's give the offensive line some protection. In 2 playoff games, Tom Brady has 90 pass attempts. He's been sacked 0 times. He has 3 quarterback hits. Let that sink in for a second. 90 pass attempts, 0 sacks, 3 hits. Well, if you don't hit him and you let them run the ball, because remember, Skip, they ran the ball really well against the Chargers. They ran the ball really, really well against the Chiefs. Well, if you let them run the ball and you're not going to hit Tom Brady, you got zero chance.
Remember what Joey Bosa said to Tom Brady in the fourth quarter? Quit throwing the ball so fast. I can't get here. Because it's gone. You fight your behind off to get to him, and all of a sudden it's just gone. And you say, well, what am I doing? And after a while, you just get worn out from it because he's going to read it, speed read, and he's going to make such a quick choice and a right choice that it's going to frustrate you over time. Not to take anything away from the offensive line, because it's been really good. They are well coached.
They're better than good now.
So, Mr. Dickerson,
yes,
I consider you the greatest running back ever. But you have to give it up to this man because he's clearly the greatest quarterback ever. But to me, he is showing you, once again yesterday, he is the Michael Jordan of the National Football League. I know he's in a very misleading package because it's hard to get your arms around him because he's aw shucks, gee whiz, golly gee, lame, just corny Tom Brady after games. You're like, who is this guy?
Yeah, Skipper, that was
he was corny after the game.
He can't jump like Jordan.
No.
He doesn't have the body of LeBron.
He doesn't.
He just
doesn't
like
have any of that.
Nothing.
But the NFL Network reported that one day last week he walked into the Patriots facility and said out loud to no one in particular, I'm the baddest MF on the planet. And he meant it. And he showed you yesterday, push come to shove on that football field, he's the baddest MF on the planet. Because the reason I've always said he's even more clutch than Jordan didn't have that many chances to be clutch because he never went to a Game 7 in all 6 of his finals. Yeah. This guy has had chance after chance after chance, starting against your St. Louis Rams in the first go-round.
Back to that.
Huh?
Ooh.
Right?
Yes.
Well, again, he leads a field goal game-winning drive against the Rams and then against Carolina, and he looked like he'd beaten Eli with a touchdown pass to Randy Moss with 2 minutes left. And then we go up to the Legion of Boom, 124 yards in the fourth quarter, and then we come up to Atlanta. They're down 28-3. He throws for 246 in the fourth quarter and overtime and brings them all the way back to win. And then 505 yards in the Super Bowl last year. And then this happened. He finally has a signature road win because he didn't have one of those on his resume. He was 3-4 in the postseason. The last road game he'd won was more than 12 years ago. That qualifies as a signature game because that is hard. Because the only way they're going to beat Patrick Mahomes is by keeping Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. It's 44 minutes to 21 minutes for Patrick Mahomes. Have you ever heard of time of possession that lopsided?
Yeah, that was very lopsided.
It's impossible. It's impossible. It's because you convert 13 of 19 third downs. It's because Tom Brady went 9 of 11 on third down for 119 yards. And every time, at the end, it's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10. In overtime, he completes all 3 of them. That's impossibly great. That's impossibly clutch. To me, he's the clutchest performer in the history of sports. But he doesn't look the part. He doesn't act the part. So nobody really gives him the part. But you got to give it up to him today because that was pretty special what he did. And again, they went in there with one arm tied behind their back because Belichick's defense, to me, is not very good. They tricked him for a while. But once the fourth quarter came, Patrick Mahomes scored 24 points in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes. It's impossible. But that defense is not that good. And you're going to find that, again, if your team can get the football in its hands, it can do damage to this defense.
They got to weather the storm, too.
Well, they got to weather the storm.
The bats come out early.
I'll say it again. You're right. You're right pretty much on all your points. Did he play great? Is he the greatest quarterback? I would say yes, he is the greatest quarterback. Is he Does he lead that football team? Most definitely. I mean, is he a leader on the field? Most definitely. But let's go back. You know, when you talked about some of the worst calls in sports history, to me, one of the worst calls in sports history, was started when the Patriots won their first Super Bowl, when they played the Oakland Raiders in Foxborough.
I was there.
That was a fumble.
It was a fumble.
I don't care what you call it. It was a fumble. It was a fumble, and that's what it was, a fumble. Okay, that got them to the Super Bowl. They got there. It should have been the Raiders and the Rams, but it's the Raiders.
Okay, I give you that one.
It's there.
Yep.
Now, they go and they film our practice. They go and film our practice. Now, you know, one thing about
that's an allegation, but it was alleged. It was alleged.
It's an alleged, but we know it happened.
And so did the Carolina Panthers allege the same thing the next year.
The GM alleged.
They did.
When you talk to the players on the Rams, let me say this: coming back on the team playing last night, they want the Patriots. They say you got to beat the best to be considered the best. So they want the Patriots.
Be careful what you wish for.
And I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. But we want that. We want them. That's great.
I honor
because
that. I
think our team has been, the Rams football team has been supposedly overachieving the last 2 years. They've been just like Tom Brady. You know, you talk about Tom Brady. You talk about Sean McVay. People talk about Sean McVay as he's too young to be a head coach. And I said this when he got the job. We don't care if he's 15 years old. If we're winning football games and win the Super Bowl, who cares? Nobody cares, right? He's got a birthday coming up. Who cares about that?
Okay.
The most important thing is winning. Most definitely, the Rams are looking forward to this game because 17 years ago, they got, Marshall Faulks, he said, Eric, it was like, they were running the routes for us. They were waiting for us out there. I mean, you know what? You can say, as a player, we know, what's the old saying? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You know, and that's part of the game. When you get caught, as many times as the Patriots have been caught, you know, but it seems nothing happens to them, but I give them credit. This is a stoic, this is a great franchise.
Do the Ram kids, the younger players, do they get any revenge out of that? Do they have any revenge motive? For 2001?
You know, I think when you play for any football team, you play for a football team and you know the history, you know the history, of course. You're like, you know, we want to play against Tom Brady. I want Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh, you know, to play against Tom Brady in this Super Bowl game, to actually bring back the trophy back to LA that we should have had. It was in St. Louis. That's when it was in St. Louis, you know, in 2001. So, you know, I give it up. But I'm giving it up. I say he is the greatest quarterback. But he's still an old ass man for football. I don't care how you put it, for football. But this, you know what? But this ain't old. This arm. Long as you can do that, that's all that counts.
You still got to have those ballet dancer feet in the pocket. He's still got it. And you still got to have...
He don't need them.
Can't nobody get close to him now.
You don't need them. You got to have reaction time. You got to speed read and get rid of the football.
You got to get rid of the ball. You know, in this day and age, they can't hit like they used to. They can't hit like they used to. They don't hit like they used to.
No.
So,
he'd have been gone a long time.
Oh, he'd have been gone a long time
I
ago.
wouldn't buy that. I would agree with that.
Okay, now you agree with that. Okay, but like I say, I'm giving it up. But I'm looking forward to, just like the Lakers and the Celtics, we don't like Boston. Let's just make let's plan this out. I don't like Boston. You know, the Rams and Boston. Let's do it, baby. We're ready for this. We're ready for this.
Well, I got to tell you, on paper, this should be a mismatch to the Rams.
Oh, so
they're way more talented.
I told you he's a double agent.
You've been ready all year for
What you
this.
talking about with John King wig on? You go to the winner. You lost. I'm going to the winner over here.
Doing talent. Is there a Talib on the Patriots except for Stephon?
I said the same thing in this game. I said we're more talented. We had the most talent playing the New Orleans Saints. I've been saying that the whole time.
You do.
I do.
We have the most talent.
We have the most talent.
Yeah.
And
see what they do next.
Well, speaking of the most talented,
got a lot of talent today. A lot of Hall of Famers. Eric, thank you for being here, but taking your seat. Deion Sanders here.
My man.
We are going to talk to him about all the games. Get his reaction.
Don't come back with that.
Hall of Fame hangout today.
No mercy.
Well, our next guest is a Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest defensive players of all time, and you can catch him on NFL Network on Game Day Prime every Sunday night and 21st in Prime every Tuesday night. Deion Sanders, welcome to Undisputed.
Wow.
It's an honor.
Thank you.
I don't know how you do it on a daily basis.
I don't either.
Because I do it once a week and I don't know. Yeah.
And you soften him up for me, but I'm here to tell Mr. Sharpe, there are Hall of Famers and then there are Hall of Famers. There's like cream of the crop.
Don't do that.
Yeah, and this man is the cream of the cream. Yes, he is. Yeah.
Well, hey,
He
we're
is.
happy to have.
Right? Am I right
that
about
guy
This
with
dude here,
us.
hey,
This dude is.
we go
something.
back a long way.
Long way.
We go way, way, way back.
And by the way, did you see that highlight? They said he couldn't tackle. Did you see
Yeah,
the
you
tackling
bring the
thing?
heat.
Huh?
That was my haters, Skip.
Yeah?
That was my
Okay.
haters. Hey, you got to have them, though.
Hey.
I welcome them.
I always defended you. When you needed to get somebody on the ground, you got them on the ground.
Yeah,
Right?
They paid me to cover, Skip.
Okay, well, this is going to be interesting between you two. Let's get right to
interesting
it, okay,
stuff.
Deion? Let's get right to the controversial play in the fourth quarter of the Rams-Saints game. Everyone, including the Rams and the NFL, admitted this was pass interference, but no flag was thrown. The Saints settled for a field goal, ultimately lost in overtime. Every time we see it, we get a reaction. Deion, how bad was this?
Historically, has to be one of the worst calls that wasn't made.
Yeah.
It was a game determining call, a call that threw everybody off. But yet and still, they still had a chance to win now. Don't get me wrong.
You got the ball in overtime.
They still had a chance to win. We're going to get to the overtime mess. I can't stand that overtime mess. We're going to get to that mess.
Right?
But this was horrendous. Now, I don't want to hear you calling me and telling me after the fact, oh, yeah, it was a bad call. We missed it. I don't want to hear that. What is it going to do for me? What is that going to do for me?
Nothing.
Not one thing whatsoever. So as a player, as a coach, ownership, you don't want to hear the afterthought that, yeah, we blew it, because you did. But understandably, it's like a defensive back, Skip. When it gets tough down there, when you're driving down, see, a lot of defensive backs, 95% play not to get beat. It's only 5% play to make a play. Officials are the same way. They don't want to be in that mix. Let me keep this flag in. Let me keep it safe, because if you throw that flag right there, it changed the whole game.
Well, it sends one team to the Super Bowl who's
Yes.
not going to the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
So I get what you're saying about overtime, but to me, this was the all-time robbery. To me, I can't find a worse blown call in the history of sports, just because we all love the National Football League so much, and it's on such a pedestal, and the Super Bowl is the ultimate game in the United States of America.
Right.
And
it should be.
And it should be. And this call decided that the Rams are going to the Super Bowl and the Saints are staying home.
True.
Well, that's horrendously bad. That needs to get fixed. That there needs to be a new rule. At least in the last 2 minutes, you need to review pass interference, because I think if that went to review, would anybody not turn that over? Because even the guy who did it, Nickel Roby Coleman, he just said after the game, I did it.
He admitted it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you want Canada rules.
Okay.
Because Canada, you can challenge.
Okay, but you can challenge throughout the game, if I
Yeah.
understand, in
Yes.
Canada. And they said last year almost half of them were overturned from the call made
But
on
you
the
don't
field.
want to bring all that into football.
Right,
You don't want
all
to
right.
bring that to the field, that now everything is questioned. So
Okay.
now why do you use the referees?
Okay, but why
If you
wouldn't you
can-
do
if
it
you
in the
can-
last 2 minutes?
If
just
you
to make
continue
sure?
to do that now, it's like at the airport. They done took all the people at the airport now. Now you're playing machines. Okay, we could be playing with a machine and someone to really tell us what transpired, and we can't take the realness and the authenticity off the field.
Okay, but doesn't it hurt the competitor in you that maybe the wrong team just went to the Super Bowl?
Once in how many plays? Once in how many plays?
I
They
mean,
blew it.
This is the play, man.
Yeah, everybody in New Orleans
But
is
we can
upset.
admit, Drew didn't play well yesterday. Can we admit that?
You ain't getting ready to talk about Drew Brees.
No, I'm just saying, can we admit he didn't play well?
Drew played all right.
No.
He played all right.
Well, guess who won? The team, the quarterback played better than all right. Because guess what? Patrick Mahomes played all right. But guess who going to the Super Bowl? The guy that played great.
So you trying to say golf played better than Brees?
Yeah, he did.
That's not true.
It's very true.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Just because this is your show, that don't mean you're going to
No. Here's the thing, though, Ty. Check this out. After the first quarter, they passed for 165 yards.
They made adjustments.
Okay. Shouldn't Drew make adjustments too?
Sean Payton should.
So now it's Sean Payton.
No, ain't
Who's
should.
orchestrating Sean Payton's offense?
Should. And they did.
Okay.
You got to understand that this is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the Super Bowl caliber teams.
The four best
They know
teams.
how to make adjustments. These
Right.
defensive coordinators are it. They're on it. All these guys should probably have been head coaches. So this is it. This is the best of the best.
Right. So what about that first? Why? See, for me, you get that long pass to Ted Ginn. Why are you throwing the ball? And then Drew threw the ball in the dirt too.
Only problem that I have with what Sean Payton did, don't take Drew out down there, man. you got to leave him in.
I have no idea.
Sometimes you start to play with your toys too much. You know, everybody want to be on Fortnite. Get off Fortnite and watch TV, watch some real TV, and do some homework or something like that. You got to stop taking Drew out in those situations, and I guarantee you he's somewhere right now second-guessing those decisions whatsoever.
So I got to admit, I'm with my man Shannon on this one because I thought after the first quarter until the end of the game, Drew Brees did not play like the Drew Brees we saw for 2/3 of the year. And I'm not sure Drew Brees, after the Dallas loss, and you know all about the Cowboys, but that 13-10 shellacking, I'm not sure he recovered psychologically from that. I don't think he was himself yesterday, and the Rams forced the ball back into his hands because they could not run. The Saints couldn't run it a lick. They tried 21 times for 2.3 yards per rush. And all of a sudden, Drew Brees is doing something he was not used to doing all year, and that's throw it 41 times. Yet and still, he should be going to the Super Bowl. But I'm with you. He didn't play as well. You know my favorite stat. You probably don't know QBR, but again, Jared Goff was 75 yesterday and Brees was 60. So it was fairly close.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason that the Saints went out to try to secure Dez Bryant. There's a reason that the Saints went out to try to secure Brandon Marshall.
Yep.
Now, there's a reason. And guess what, guys? We saw the reason yesterday. Yeah. You don't even know half these guys Drew Brees out there throwing to. But one. And honestly, that one, you put him in front of Talib, he's a wash.
He was a wash yesterday.
He's a wash. So now who we throwing to?
Yeah.
What we got to deal with? Now we got to go and check down to our back out of the backfield.
Come on.
Now all I got to do is make a defensive adjustment to stop that. Now I've disarmed you and disabled you. And that's what transpired yesterday. So don't give me it was Drew Brees.
Yeah.
That has something to do with personnel.
Yeah, personnel, but we're going to Drew Brees, his last six games, last 6 starts, 7 TDs, 5 interceptions, 6.7 yards per attempt. What am I supposed to do with that?
They was coasting in. They had already won that thing. They was coasting.
Oh, guess what? They still coasting.
They was coasting.
Guess where they coasting now?
They shouldn't be.
No, yeah, they should.
No, they shouldn't be.
Oh, yeah.
It should be. It should be a party down there.
It is going to be a party.
With them Saints right now.
It's going to be a
That's
party.
how it should be.
The Rams.
Yeah.
Oh, Jared Goff.
I like
He
the
went
Rams.
to Jared.
I love the Rams. First of all, I love me some McKee.
Yeah.
You
I know
do
you
know
love Keys.
that.
Yeah.
I do know that. You do know that. And I feel like if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have been the same situation. When he came back, that defense went up to yet another level.
It did.
Yes.
I buy that. But you have an issue with overtime, with the rules?
I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. Just because I'm gifted enough to say heads or tails and win a flip that I have nothing to do with, this team gets the ball and the other team doesn't touch it. How is that? How is that football?
You're talking about the Kansas City game.
Yeah, you don't think America was waiting to see Patrick Mahomes get his
I would
turn?
agree with that. He deserved the last at bat.
Let's change this. Let's put the ball at the 50, man. Okay, because you get one first down. Now all these kickers can make it. So now you're bringing special teams into the game as well as your offense and defense into the game. One of your components never gets to touch the field. Now you know darn well, Skip, when Brady won the toss that was over, I started dug in, and they in.
He did.
Simultaneously.
They're now 3 for 3 in winning the toss in overtime of playoff games, and him going the length of the field to win the game.
Because the first time in Oakland, it was the first one to score.
Yeah.
Because they kicked the field goal, Vinatieri kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
Now the rules are you got to score a touchdown.
Yep.
But I totally agree. You never have it college rules, everybody get a possession, because it's not fair that these great quarterbacks get the ball and the opposing team quarterbacks never
But
get
you
an
know
opportunity.
why this rule is the rule?
Yeah.
It's because of primetime TV that they don't want to cut into. Whatever it is. Fox, 60 Minutes.
Man, nobody was thinking about them other shows. Everybody wants to
Well, those
say, okay,
networks are.
Mahomes, your turn.
Yeah.
Let me see what you do.
Because they said it was unfair, Skip, that a team could kick a field goal. But you can kick a field goal any other time and win the game. But now we don't want you to get in overtime and kick a field goal and win.
Okay.
Unless the other team had a chance.
That's why I
to
say put it at the 50. Because at least you got to get a first down. If you don't get a first down, your field goal kick is not going to make it.
So you want more college.
Yes.
Right?
As a matter of fact, all the pro rules should translate to college. Every rule that's in pros should be in college. So these kids could get ready and understand how to play the game.
Right.
From pass interference, from everything. It should be in college.
Drew Brees got his shot in overtime. And he got shot right in the face by Fowler, and the ball went straight up in the air, and the game was basically over. Right?
Right.
So Drew Brees gagged it off, huh?
No. Somebody missed the block.
No, don't do that, Ty. What?
Somebody
Don't do
missed the
that
block.
out here.
So you just think, I'm just going to throw the ball up in the air so they catch it.
I don't know what he happened.
That's what he wanted to do?
That's not what he
That
wanted.
was the play that was
I'm
called?
saying what he did.
That was the play that was called?
No, that wasn't the play call. But did he gag it off?
No.
He did.
He's a
See,
champ.
you just go. I'm gonna win on my show.
He's a
This
champ.
Yeah, I was
my show.
gonna say.
This Skip and Shannon Undisputed. You ain't
Should have explained the rules to you before you came on.
finna come on here. You ain't finna come on here and win no debate on my
Last
show.
word
That's
over
not gonna
here.
happen.
I think you just got the last word.
You guys already started talking about the Patriots. Let's dig into that game a bit more. We know Skip is Team Brady. We know Shannon is Team Belichick. What team is Deion on? We'll
good
discuss and find out next.
Team Prime.
No mercy.
New England is headed to their third straight Super Bowl after beating the Chiefs last night. Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions in the game, but he also led the Patriots on a 13-play drive to set up the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Brady and Bill Belichick are now headed to their 9th Super Bowl together. Deion Sanders still with us. So, Deion, this is a question for you. What % of the credit goes to Brady and what % of the credit goes to Belichick for the win?
I'm glad you asked that question. I was
Yeah.
very prepared for this. This
Good.
is really the question that I came for. I love Bill Belichick with all my heart and all my soul. I think, arguably, he probably is the best head coach, college pro, in the history of coaching. He is. Robert Kraft will go down in history as one of the greatest owners ever. I love me some Jerry Jones. Love me some Eddie DeBartolo. Please note that. But that Tom Brady. Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady is a game changer on the field, in the locker room, in life. The common denominator here to me is Tom Brady. Without Tom Brady, this does not work. Without Tom Brady, we're not here. Without Tom Brady, that wonderful picture is not nestled behind you. Because that Tom Brady, see, when you have a guy that you could think back, even in our playing day, saying, well, the only one that can really rival him, that man from the 49ers, Joe Montana. Dan Marino. Guys like that. That's only Peyton Manning. I got to give Peyton some credit, but that Tom Brady is in a class by himself. So I'm going to give it to Tom Brady because he could get another coach and still be
No, he
Tom
can't.
Brady.
Yep.
No, he can't.
Yep.
No, he can't.
He can get another owner.
This
No,
man
he
is
can't.
preaching. Let him preach.
and still be Tom Brady. But they can't get another
They
Tom
gonna get
Brady.
another. They
They'll
want
still
another.
be sitting in that Super Bowl.
Yep.
Be the same place.
It's funny how he wanted to interrupt me at the end.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Because who put all this together? Who put it all together?
Jesus.
No, he didn't put it. Who put it all together? Who drafted Tom Brady? Who put all this coaching staff, all these players, every piece?
Robert Kraft.
No, don't do that. We use Robert Kraft checkbook. That's all we use Mr. Kraft for. Love me some Mr. Kraft. He's a great man.
Then you shoot him.
Yeah, man, good man. But Coach Belichick, because he's shopping for all the grocery, he's doing all the cooking. Now the head chef is Tom Brady. He's a master chef,
Master
a sous
chef.
chef, all that. Whatever
Benny
how
Hanna's type
well,
shit.
yeah, whatever you want to give him, Skip, baby. And that's the thing. You know how it is. Anytime you critique and says, okay, who's this, who's that, someone's going to think you shortchanging Tom Brady. Somebody's going to think you shortchanging Coach Belichick. I just given that Coach Belichick, all the free agents, all the drafting, everything that goes on in that building is him. The buck stops with him. When things don't go well, it stops with him. Tom Brady just has to worry about Tom Brady, and he's great. He makes everybody's jobs a lot easier. And I will say this: Coach Belichick's job is made easier because his best player is his hardest worker. So everybody else comes in that building, they look at him and says, "Hold on, Tom doing all this? What's expected of me?"
How many times they won with that Tom Brady?
They went 3-1. They went 3-1 and we suspended.
Super Bowl.
Whoa. Let me finish, man. Let me finish. I ain't interrupt you.
You ain't let me. Yes, you did.
I ain't interrupt you.
You know they tape this, right?
Yeah.
You did interrupt me.
Okay, well, don't interrupt me. It's my show. This again. Skip and Shannon. Ain't got nothing to do with no Prime. Where Prime? Ain't no Skip, Shannon, and Prime. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I like him around this.
But
is fun.
anyway, as I was saying, so I was so rudely interrupted again. Coach Belichick gets 75% of the credit. 75.
It's good percentage.
I have, thanks to my man Deion Sanders,
Good man,
I have
Skip.
just changed my total.
I've
I
been
had it
loving you for a long
75-25,
time.
and he just preached me all the way to 80-20.
Man, you know what?
Yesterday's
Wow.
about 80-20.
80-20.
And by the way, shopping for those groceries, Belichick's making a bunch of bad buys lately because that defense is not very good. I'm looking for the Pro Bowlers. Stephon Gilmore, he's no Deion, but he's pretty good.
Ain't no problem.
No.
Man, go ahead on.
I got to he preached.
That's about all you got over there. So Belichick's responsible for a defense that can be pretty sorry that Andy Reid has torched 4 straight times.
He didn't
Let's
get
throw
40.
in 5.
He didn't get 40.
Okay.
Hey, can you let Skip talk?
Okay, my bad.
Tom Brady is responsible for the offense, and yesterday the offense was responsible for winning the football game because it kept the ball for 44 minutes to 21 minutes for Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had the ball 3 minutes in the fourth quarter and scored 24 points on the geniuses'
One
defense.
of them was thanks to Brady
24.
throwing a pick. What about that pick?
Okay,
The man
but
should have
again,
jumped up.
Tom Brady went 13 and 19 on third down. That's impossibly great. He hit 9 of 11 passes on third down for 119 yards. That's
So
impossible.
let me ask you, if you don't mind me asking, so who do you think had the high degree of difficulty? Going against Patrick Mahomes, Coach Belichick's defense going against Patrick Mahomes, or Tom Brady going against the 31st ranked defense? I just need to know, just for my curiosity.
I've
I
been telling
think-
you that for weeks.
All
But you
right,
didn't want to listen
how
to me.
about- hold on.
I've been telling you that for
The
weeks.
higher degree of difficulty was slightly Tom Brady because what kind of
Time.
weapons? Wait a second.
I'm not with you.
Wait,
I'm with Skip.
does he have a Tyreek?
Slide on
Does he
over.
have a Sammy Watkins?
Preach,
No, he
yeah.
doesn't have a Sammy Watkins. Does he have Gronk left? No, he.
Sammy Watkins stay hurt for
Okay.
4 miles.
He wasn't hurt yesterday.
Why you had to say he from Fort Myers?
Because that's where you from.
He caught 4 for 14 yesterday.
Sammy
Watkins
Watkins
did.
bowling.
And again, Travis Kelce didn't have a very good game, but is he better than Gronkowski? I'll take him any day
Yeah, he's
over
better than Gronk. But was he better than Gronk yesterday? See, that's what separates the Patriots receivers from these top guys. They're at their absolute best when they need to.
The Patriots receivers.
Yeah.
Name 2.
No. I get it.
No, you don't.
Edelman.
Can you at least go in the draft with your guy and get Tom Brady? You talking about these groceries?
We don't need to.
Can we go down
We don't
that aisle?
need to.
Can we go down to the receivers aisle and get some groceries for
Yeah.
Tom Brady?
Here's the thing.
But yet and still, he's still in the dance. He's still in the dance every year, and he ain't got nothing in the basket out wide.
But you know.
He got some frozen goods.
If Coach Belichick goes and gets one of those.
He got a hungry man.
Okay.
And-
Hey, Shannon,
Yeah.
you know what a sack race is?
Yeah, I know.
Jump
I
in the
was
sack
good
race?
at sack race.
Okay.
Field day.
Okay, you could have made him do sack race, and he could have covered Julian Edelman and Hogan in the sack. He could have jumped and covered him.
That's a
Shut
good
him
analogy.
out. No, I'm
That's a good
serious.
analogy, Skip.
It's Julian Edelman.
Balling.
Yeah, come on.
First of all, you know this. Now, all seriousness, you know every receiver can't play for Coach
Hey, why
Belichick.
y'all got my chair down like this? He looking down on me like this. Can you get my chair up some?
Yes,
I don't like
yes.
the way he was looking down at me then. He looking down at me like that. Okay, go ahead.
You and I both know all these top number 1 receivers can't play for Coach Belichick. Because what happens when you get one ball thrown your way?
The mental capacity.
Yes.
I understand.
But look at the catches that Chris Hogan
They're
made
not playing
last.
for Coach Belichick. You mean can't play for Tom Brady?
They can't play for Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick evaluates.
He's not
when you
coaching
been-
offense.
No,
He's
he
not
ain't.
coaching offense.
No.
You mean can't play in the system
What's the
with Tom
Patriot
Brady?
way? He said, look here, do your job.
No, it's the Tom Brady way on offense.
Coach Belichick.
Anytime the quarterback can go over and go off on the offensive coordinator, that's his team.
And who you think go off on the quarterback?
That's his
Oh,
team.
Coach Belichick. Have you heard?
True.
Coach Belichick done undress everybody.
He put his
And
clothes-
everybody in there butt naked.
He put his clothes on before he left.
Yeah,
I
they put
guarantee you
everybody
that.
butt naked.
You don't deal with that man. You don't play with that man.
But anyway, Skip, baby. See,
Anyway, I want
I'm tired of you underestimating Edelman and Hogan. Granted, no, they're not AB, but look at when they need to be their best.
I know, but they're just
Don't drop anything.
Whoa. They're just little
I agree
slow
with you.
white
I
guys.
love
Am
you
I
some
right?
Edelman. I love
Am I
you some
right?
Edelman.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it done.
You have little to no respect for them. They have rapport with 12. They just do.
Yes.
He trusts them. They trust him.
But that's what you need, Skip.
Okay.
Ain't no, because think about it. Let me ask you this. There have been games that Edelman catch 2 passes. You think AB going to be okay catching 2 passes?
No.
You think Odell Beckham going to be okay with catching 2 passes?
No. The problem with AB has and Odell has when they catch 2 passes and they lose. They don't have a problem when they catch 2 passes and they win.
Man, please. Man, if they don't catch 10 for
If
a buck
they
50,
catch 2 passes and they win and everybody's fine,
they were winning.
They don't have no
They were
problem.
winning, remember? They were winning.
Win.
Pittsburgh was.
When?
Pittsburgh winning. Had 3-game lead.
Pittsburgh has lost.
Exactly.
And then they gave MVP to another teammate.
What they got to do
I
with
wish they
anything?
would give me
Why
MVP.
you care about?
I wish you would give MVP to another corner and I'm out there doing what I do.
He
ain't
had
gonna
a better
see me
year.
either.
Guess
you
what?
ain't gonna see me either.
I voted for the other corner because he had a better year than you.
So, Shannon Sharpe, please explain to
Yes.
me how the genius Bill Belichick's defense can give up 31 to Patrick Mahomes in the second half
Right.
at home
Right.
on Sunday night.
Right.
And then last night in Kansas City, he gave up 24 in the fourth quarter in just 3 minutes
Right.
time of possession. That's
Skip.
That's horrible.
Think about it.
That's not genius
He's
coaching.
doing that. He gave up those numbers to a guy that's probably going to be unanimous MVP. Tom Brady got those numbers. And this is not to minimize Tom Brady, but he's going against the 31st ranked defense in all of football. Okay, they lead the league. They were tied for the sacks, but they knocked the man down one time.
You ain't bringing up the 31st to now. I've been telling you that for weeks, but you ain't want to hit me. Now you want to bring up the 31st because you want to use that as a weapon against my guy.
I ain't using it against him. I'm just the facts. Just the facts, man.
Well, how did they get there if they sold 31st? They got there from what? Offense and an opportunistic defense.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
But now you want to use that.
But
because we're talking about Brady.
if I'd have told you the team that averaged 35.5 points and have a guy that throw 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards would be held to 0 points and 32 yards in the first half, what would you have said?
Brady.
Well, you'd say, what was the time of possession? It was 21 minutes to 9 minutes.
I don't care about no time of possession.
A little bit.
No.
Not even at all.
Because guess what?
He did.
He only had the
watching
ball
this.
21
I
minutes.
was watching it. We couldn't even find him.
Fair enough.
We was looking for him.
Yeah, because I was hiding because you
He
was
was
over there.
hiding.
I sure was.
Couldn't find him yesterday.
Well, the Patriots beat the Rams
Love
in
my
another
skill.
Super Bowl. You guys have had me laughing
Love
this
me
whole
some
last
skill.
segment. We're going to look ahead to the big game next.
No mercy.
Welcome back. Deion Sanders still with us. And Deion, can you tell us what you're doing with Restore?
I
Tell them what you're doing.
I'm back.
What you restored?
I'm back. Where my close up at? Can you look at this hair? Look at my hair game. Oh, it's back, baby. There you go.
How you do that?
You can pull it back.
That's all we
How I do
needed.
that?
Him and that Urlacher.
Huh?
Him and Urlacher went to the same shop.
Yeah, what they do, they take the hair from the sides and put it at the top, and it just grows like milk and honey. Yes, they do.
Like
That's what
milk
they
and
did.
honey.
American Pharaoh naked right now. The main gone from American Pharaoh.
You know, it looks good.
That's a look. It feels good.
I mean, look at that right
Feel
there.
good too.
See that right there?
I can help you right here.
No, you can't.
Right
Oh,
there.
no,
I'm just saying.
Just mine.
You and Dak. This mine. This ain't nobody else's. This ain't fake.
That's American Pharaoh.
You can run your finger. When Keith Sweat said, "Run my fingers through your hair," I can do that now.
I think it looks very nice.
Hey, this man looks like he's 25 years old.
You've
Thank you.
got great hair. Everyone around here better hair
Yeah.
than me. I'm just
I
trying
got
to
a little,
keep
little
up.
gray. I got
Yeah.
a little gray.
That's okay. Comes with
Make me
experience.
distinguished.
Experience. All right. We're going to move on to the Super Bowl. We're still 2 weeks away, but Patriots are already a slight 1.5-point favorite over the Rams. Both teams pulled off overtime wins on the road to advance to Atlanta. And for those that don't remember the Tom Brady and Bill Belichick legendary Super Bowl run, well, it started against the Rams back in Super Bowl 36. So, Deion, who do you give the early edge to?
You know where I'm going. I don't know how we can even have the audacity to ask this question.
I agree.
How can you pick in a one-game match against Tom Brady
Easy.
and Bill Belichick? And he just stood on the table just moments ago about Bill Belichick and how he acquired all the groceries and what he's doing, and he's naming their kids, and the grandkids are named after him. He said all that too to me last night. But now he's going to sit there and say you wouldn't even pick them in a one-game match? This ain't the World Series. This ain't the NBA Finals. That's why I love our game. Baby, we got one time to do this thing, and one time only.
Yeah.
And if you think I would have the audacity to pick against that man sitting behind you that wears 12, that mean it's a dozen, that mean it's a whole, are you kidding me?
That guy.
Tom Brady and them.
That guy.
That's who I'm picking.
Yep.
Well, currently, the Patriots do have the edge because they have all the experience. I don't know how many guys have ever played in a Super Bowl that's on the Rams.
To lead.
Yeah. That's it. That's the only one I can think of. Look, the thing is that what makes the Patriots so impressive is that their key guys in the most critical of situations always play their best football. Gronk hasn't done a whole lot this year. When they needed him the most, who did he go to? Gronk. All those big catches, 22 man. Let me find Julian Edelman. on 3rd and 10. He had only thrown one pass to Chris Hogan. Chris Hogan makes a one-hand catch to keep a drive alive.
He did.
So this is what separates them from a lot of other teams, is that the guys that they count on always shine brightly. But
I knew it was coming.
But in 3 games against Wade's defense, Tom Brady's averaging 19 points a game. I'm just throwing that out. Hey, I'll do with it what you want. All I do is I come here,
And
I
those
offer you
games
something.
were weird. One was in Denver, if that's the one that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
well, all of them in Denver.
Yeah. All of them in Denver?
And they lost one of them against old Brock Osweiler.
Okay.
So if Jared Goff can't be better than Brock Osweiler, with Wade doing this thing, now so you say you love Keith, so you going against Keith?
I'm going to have to.
I can't believe
Sooner or later, you got to part ways with friends and family.
Who's Talib going to cover? Is he going to take Edelman?
No. He'll be outside. I wouldn't
Okay.
be surprised if he spent some time on Gronk.
Well, that's
Keith-
not outside.
No. I'm saying
Okay.
when Gronk
Yeah.
goes outside.
Yeah.
Keith is not a slot guy.
Okay. Well, you better put somebody on Edelman because he's going to throw the football to Edelman.
Yeah, we have
Right?
something. We have something for him.
Okay.
You eating that?
Nope.
So I do think the Rams could have some psychological edge over the next 2 weeks because they're going to get sick and tired of hearing how they're a counterfeit Super Bowl team, like they don't belong there.
Okay.
And after a while, they're just going to say, enough of this, we'll show you we belong.
Right.
So I'm going to give them some psychological edge. I also don't always trust Bill Belichick in these situations because last year, mysteriously and inexplicably, he benched Malcolm Butler for the whole Super Bowl. I don't know why. So is he?
I know why.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because?
A whole lot went on that week.
Well, do you think so? Because Malcolm Butler said nothing went on. No?
Thing about it, you don't bench a man for no reasons whatsoever.
Well, unless you think Eric Rowe's just better, like he's a better fit for what you're going to do against the Eagles.
Wrong time to discipline a player.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. Is he going to discipline Stephon Gilmore this year?
Well, if he act out,
Yeah.
look, Skip, look, that's over with.
Well, it just cost him the Super Bowl.
It ain't cost him nothing.
It did too. They're going
Brady
to
fumble. That cost him.
Well, he threw for 505 yards.
But it was the one that he didn't throw. And he dropped a touchdown, too. You ain't going to talk
He
about that.
wasn't going to score on that.
Yeah, he scored.
Brady wasn't going to score
Y'all
on that
did the
play.
stanky leg.
Both big
I'd have
legs.
caught that thing and did the stanky leg.
Both Brady legs are shot. Just shot.
Oh, so his leg shot, huh?
Ain't
I'd
got
have did
nothing
the
to do with
stanky
his
leg.
arm.
Nothing's wrong.
You know what?
Nothing to do with his arm.
Look, you just go.
Nothing to do with his arm.
You just keep on riding that train. You just keep on riding.
Oh, that train, that ain't no regular train. That's Xavier. You know, I never been much on trains, but I rode a couple in my life. And that,
you rode the
they tell me
Acela, huh?
it's Acela. That's the
Yeah.
one. Ooh, that thing's so nice and
something.
comfortable.
Speed
Get you
train.
there quick,
It
too.
does.
good.
Oh, and it feeds you on there.
Yeah, true.
So in the end, if I go position by position on paper, I'm going to give the Rams the edge a lot of places except at quarterback.
Yeah.
If you want to throw Belichick in there, I'll throw Belichick.
Oh, if you want to. Oh, so Belichick is a tag along.
Okay. Well, again, can he coach up a defense?
I mean, think about what you just said.
Yeah.
The man, now you just said he's the greatest college, the greatest coach.
You're not going to spend this on me.
Yeah.
I'm with Skip.
You just
Thank
said
you.
he's the greatest coach, college or professional, walk the
said
sideline, and then now he going to say Skip to use him as a throw along.
Who would be, Skip? Who would be the greatest?
For me, Bill Walsh. I just love it.
You
but
know what? You're nostalgic. I like that. That's your era.
That's my.
I
And
like that.
I was close with him, and
like
I've never
that.
seen. You want to talk about picking groceries? He picked every grocery on offense, and he
I agree.
invented an offense for that quarterback
agree.
he picked in the 3rd round.
I agree.
Oh, hold on. Why pick him in the 3rd round then? If he knew Joe Montana was going to be the GOAT, why you not getting him in the 1st round?
But he was the one who just said, "I'll make you the GOAT.
Okay, buddy.
I'll make you the GOAT."
No.
What does Belichick have to do with the Patriot offense? It's now run by Tom Brady.
Because what he
coordinates it.
Because the greatest defensive mind gets to sit with Tom Brady and says, Tom, this is what they're going to do. If this was me, the genius that I am, this is how I would attack this formation. And in this situation, this is what I would do. And lo and behold, just think, if you already knew how tomorrow was going to turn out, how would you live today?
Carefully. I would live carefully.
Yeah.
Because you don't trust tomorrow.
Yeah, but,
you don't know
but
what it's
Coach
gonna bring.
Belichick, if Coach Belichick tell you something, if Coach Belichick tell you grass would turn to cheese, start hustling crackers.
Where you get this
Did
stuff?
your grandfather say?
Yeah!
Always prepared
Your
for something.
grandparents are something else, man.
Yeah, Coach Belichick, the truth. And you know it. Y'all gonna stop. You know what? Y'all two up here, I don't know what y'all got going on, but y'all trying to shortchange Coach Belichick, but I'm not gonna let it happen on my watch.
Shortchanging
Yes,
Coach
it is.
Belichick.
Yeah.
You gave him 20% of the credit, and you gave him very minimal.
No, I gave Brady all of it. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
Skip was right when he talked about the coach that he's most fond of. I wanted to know if he wasn't saying Coach Belichick, who was that guy? He said Walsh.
Yeah.
I agree.
Correct.
In
Thank
my
you.
era, it's
End of story.
Belichick.
You easily persuaded.
No, in my
No.
era, it's Belichick. In his era, it's Walsh. I understand his era.
Coach Belichick overlapped all eras.
Deion,
Overlap all eras.
as fun as it's been, we only have a couple more minutes left in the show, so thank you for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Anytime.
come back anytime. I've enjoyed it.
To mess with him,
Shannon.
anytime.
Thank you.
Be sure to
Busy.
check out Deion
We
Sunday
full the
nights
next
and
3 months.
Tuesday
And
nights
I'm waiting
on
for you.
NFL
I'm
Network.
getting in your car and I'm waiting for you.
Okay,
After
I'm
work.
going to call you soon. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Tom Brady didn't shake hands with Patrick Mahomes after the Patriots win yesterday, but Brady reportedly went up to a security guard outside the Chiefs' locker room after the game and asked to talk to Mahomes. The two quarterbacks apparently then had a brief conversation. Shannon, does it surprise you that Brady would do this?
Yes, because he's never done this before, and I understand that. He obviously wanted to whisper some words of encouragement to Patrick Mahomes, understanding that he's a very talented young player. And he's like, he says, I've been here. These games really, really hurt because you're one step away from reaching your ultimate goal. But I'm a little surprised because I don't think he's ever done this before.
I don't think so either.
So
Not like this.
That's why I'm surprised, but I do understand. It's so chaotic. Everybody's rushing on the field. And for the most part, Skip, a lot of times, if you've just lost this game at home, you ain't trying to stick around and shake nobody's hand. I'm trying to get the hell up out of here.
Yep. Remember, he took heat after the Super Bowl last
Correct.
year for not shaking Foles' hand.
Yes.
Oh, true.
And in this case, I was also surprised and impressed that he went out of his way not to do it for the cameras on the field. He wanted to go talk to that kid face to face, and it didn't last very long.
Right.
But I think that's how impressed Tom Brady was with your man, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
He wanted to tell him to his face. That was highly impressive.
I thought it was a very nice move. Like you said, it's out of the reach of the cameras. I'm sure he probably would have wished it hadn't have gotten out, but it did. Nothing, I mean, it's hard for you to do as a player to do anything that doesn't get out, just like I'm sure he didn't want I'm a bad mofo to get out either, but someone heard it, and that's going to be news, and anything Tom Brady does is going to be news. But I thought this was a
You
nice
saw that
gesture.
kid make some throws that he is not capable of making. And you wanted to tell him, way to go, kid.
Keep your head up.
Says a lot about his character. All right. Well, that was a fun show, guys.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.